So hello everybody, good evening. Are we coming through loud and clear? Okay. This is exciting already, isn't it? All right, so let us know if you will, if you can hear us. Looks like we got 12 people watching, so if you can hear us, let us know. If you can see us,
say hi.
Maybe they can't. Now we got 3 that's left. You sure we're on?
Mm-hmm. So Anna and SNK said hi.
Who? Oh, okay. Hello. Can y'all hear us? We're waiting for somebody to tell us if you can hear us.
And the NCMemoryMakers are present.
Yes, Rita and Sean. I see and hear you. Okay,
Yay.
That's what we want to know.
Yay.
So good to see y'all tonight. Hello, Brian, Scott, Wendy, David. Thank you. Hello, Ken. We can hear you. All right, so everybody can hear us. It seems that's good.
We still feel a little nervous
every time we do. We really do. In fact, we were not necessarily even. Oh, let's see. Hello from Middle Tennessee. Let's go ahead and greet everybody first, then we'll get into it. Good evening, Sherry in Middle Tennessee. Bonnie, hello. Kim, hello. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Footprints in the Pines. Good to hear from y'all tonight.
Guys.
Hello. How are y'all doing? Hope y'all are doing well. All right. Well, it looks like we're coming through loud and clear. Yeah. So, like I was saying, MLT from Wilkes County, our neighbors. Hello. Good evening. And Sean, I've been all over the East Coast and parts out west and even Hawaii, but there's nothing like home. That's absolutely right.
That's true.
Brian says, all that food you ate in Texas looked very good. What was your favorite meal on the trip? All right, I'm going to let you take that one.
Saltgrass.
Yeah, I would agree.
That was my favorite.
I think the Mexican restaurant was good too.
Yeah, it was.
It was not the barbecue place. I'll go ahead and tell you that now. But hello, Smoky Mountain Man. Lisa, good evening from Garden City, South Carolina.
Nice.
Okay. Bonnie, it looks like you got out of San Antonio in time. They're supposed to get some bad weather tonight. Yes, we did get out of San Antonio. We actually were delayed. Our flight was delayed by, I think, 30 minutes, but they got us home quick. We only landed like 5 minutes late.
Yeah, because didn't you see our top speed was like 600 and something?
Yeah, from what I could monitor on the phone, we hit like 620 some miles an hour. All right, let's talk about that crazy barbecue in Texas. That's why we're here tonight, actually. We actually were not going to do a live stream so quick, but one of our subscribers did ask us if we would do one specifically to talk about Texas. So that's what we're doing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have all of our videos up. In fact, I've probably got 6 or 7 more to go. So it's going to be a week or 2 weeks. Didn't want to wait that long. So I kind of wish we had more videos up before we do this, but that's fine. Hello from Louisiana, Susan. Thank you for joining us tonight. And what did I think of AT&T Stadium? I thought it was very impressive. And I've always, how do I say this without offending somewhere? I've never liked the Cowboys. I just put it that way. But the stadium was something you got to see. I really, really liked it.
It was pretty neat too to hear how it was built, what all goes into it. Like when they retract the roof and open the doors, about the air pressure, which whoever thinks about the air pressure in a building, but you know, there's a lot of stuff in there.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into it that you got to think about that I just hadn't, you know, and it was very, very impressive. Actually, the field, we learned this, the field, I think it was 50 feet below ground level, the field itself. Stadium was very impressive. Got to go into the locker rooms, behind the scenes, see what goes on. Got to go in the press box, the after game interview room. I could go on and on. Got to go on the field. That was kind of
that was pretty
the last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Brian says, was that wing really missing a piece on
Yes.
that plane? It sure appeared to be. Now, I didn't see the one on the other side, but
Yeah, because I asked him, I said, does that look like a chip in that wing right there? And he was like, well, I don't know what it looks like on the other side. I said, that
well,
don't
it
look
looked
right.
kind of smooth. But so I thought, well, maybe that's the way it's built. But the first plane we had wasn't like that. And then you thought it looked like it was broken off.
Yeah, it looked like a chip.
Anyway, when you're sitting right behind the wing, you don't want to see a piece of the wing broken. So
No.
I didn't know whether to say something. I didn't want to make myself look ridiculous if it was supposed to be like that. But you know,
The wings seemed awful wobbly anyway on that thing. Anytime we hit turbulence, you could just see them.
We watched a video before our flight in 2021 about a Hawaiian Airlines flight where the whole thing ripped apart and people are exposed to the air, and you know they're sitting there in their seats. And a lady getting on that plane, you watch this on YouTube, the Hawaiian Airlines flight. She noticed something wrong on the plane, but didn't say anything because she figured that, well, they know about it, and the whole plane ripped apart while they were in the air.
It was some of the bolts that were holding it on, but that when it ripped open, people were actually exposed. They actually landed. I think they only lost one person.
One of the crew.
One person, and everybody. To me, I thought about when we were up there, and it's like I couldn't imagine there being nothing between me and looking down at the ground.
Yeah,
I'd have passed.
And they had to get to lower altitude because it's so cold that high up.
Yeah.
But, hello from LJ, Georgia. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The Whataburger looks so good, but there's not one near to us here in Ohio. So I got one at Sonic, which was as close as I could. Yeah, we actually went to Whataburger twice. The first night when we got there was in Arlington. That's really all we did the first night because our flight was delayed out of Charlotte. We landed too late. We were wanting to go to the Rangers and Yankees game, but that it was going to be pushing it anyway. But when we were an hour and a half late, that was out.
Yeah.
So I think when we landed, the game was like in the 7th inning by that time. So we just went to Whataburger. Now I had no idea that video was going to get so many comments. Everybody saying we have Whataburgers here. Let me clarify something. Whataburger is a Texas thing, and there are not any in North Carolina. There are a couple places that use the name, but they hyphenate it. It's not the same thing. There are some in other states. Georgia and Florida do have some, which I did not know. So that was good to find out. But yeah, Whataburger, it was something that we saw last time we were there and just decided we didn't get it in, but we decided this time we would. We got there that first night, not much else to do, nowhere to go besides the motel. It just seemed like a good time to do it. So I got one at Sonic, which is as close as I could get. Yeah, we got Sonic here.
Mm-hmm.
They're similar in some ways, I guess. Sonic probably has a lot more ice cream and milkshakes. Did they have anything besides that Dr. Pepper milkshake?
They had like strawberry,
Did
chocolate, vanilla. I don't remember anything else.
What, if any, fast food burger is the closest to Whataburger? Wow. I don't know. I don't know if I've had one that close because it's big. I mean, they're not thick, but they're really, really big around the buns and everything. And I ordered the triple that night. And
it's not like the burgers taste that much different. They're just really big. Now, in my opinion, the patty melt, I got that the first night. I thought that was excellent. It was really good. The second time we went back, I got just a single cheeseburger, which it was big, but it wasn't like it different from anywhere else. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Now here's something I want to. Smoky Mountain Man says, I really like the short of the cowboy doing road tricks while riding the horse. Yeah, that man's name is Ketch, Ketch, like Ketch Weaver. Apparently he's been in commercials and on TV, but that was some of the most amazing talent I've ever seen. I actually right now am getting ready to upload tonight the rodeo video from the Stockyards. I saved him till the end. So the video is going to be just under 50 minutes long. Do not shortchange yourself. You want to watch his whole performance, which is in the video.
And it's almost like I don't think they have halftime shows, but that's almost kind of like what it was. It was like right after the bull riding, before they went back into the competition, he came out there. And it was very interesting.
I didn't know you could do such things with the rope. I looked over at her at one point and said somebody had a lot of time on their hands growing up to practice that, because he can do things with that rope that would just, your mouth will just hang open.
Yeah.
And I got 90% of it in the video that's uploading tonight. It should be ready in the morning. And that's the Stockyards, not the Stockyards, but the Cowtown Coliseum Rodeo. It is in the Stockyards. But watch that video. It is long. I wanted to bring you all of the performances, the barrel racing, they had ladies and men competitions. Great rodeo, but I did put a lot of his performance in there as well. Tony says, hey y'all, saw where Shaughnessy was nervous. Hold on, let me get back to that. About the takeoff from Charlotte to Dallas. If she was holding your hand, did she squeeze it hard enough to cut off the blood supply? Yeah, the cast came off today. No, actually, I don't think you were holding my hand.
No, he's too busy looking out the window holding the cameras.
I was recording. Somebody has to record these videos.
But let me say this. I did discover if I look straight ahead when you're taking off and don't watch out the window, I do much, much better. Because it's like when you're seeing yourself going further and further from the ground, that's just kind of unnerving. Now, when you're getting ready to land, I can watch the ground getting closer and closer. That's fine. But yeah, take off, I don't like it.
It's exciting to me. That's why I've always had the window seat. I think I've offered it to you, and you're not interested. So, again, somebody has to record it to bring the video. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
In order to get from the ground to 37,000 feet, you got to go up. So, we've not flown a lot, but
no. And I panicked so much every little bump. And what was it? Was it coming home? No, going out there.
Home was rough, yeah.
There was a guy to my left in the aisle seat, and he actually worked for the airlines. He had his little vest on, American Airlines, and I guess he was going home. He was off duty. So I kind of watched him, whenever I thought it was pretty bumpy or something. I'm like, okay, he's not panicking, everything must be okay. Yeah. So that kind of helped ease me a little bit.
He was like that was just par for course.
Yeah.
Smoky Mountain, man. We were at Fort Worth Stockyards and saw the Longhorn cattle drive. That's neat. The horns on those things are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I also got my picture sitting on a reel. That's something. That's neat.
I saw where they were taking pictures.
Yeah, that's something else there. So Gerald says, hello, welcome back to North Carolina. Thank you very much. Wendy, Dairy Queen or Freddy's is close to Whataburger. Now, we have Dairy Queens. We have not tried a Freddy's yet, but that is on the soon-to-do list.
Yeah.
I think one's just opened in Sevierville, so.
Yeah, Dairy Queen, that would be a good comparison. I would agree with that.
Yeah, but I might put Whataburger's burger above a Dairy Queen a little bit. But what's the next trip y'all planning next? We actually don't really have one. End of the month, we always go to North Myrtle Beach area.
Yeah,
that's kind of been a Memorial Day. Yeah, there'll be a Gatlinburg coming up soon.
Yeah.
Isn't TC University close to the Stockyards? Yes, TC University is in Fort Worth. That's true. Mm-hmm. Texas Christian University. Hello from Dallas. Glad you could visit Texas. Yes, we are too. We really enjoyed visiting your area. Had been there in 2017. It's a place we always wanted to go back to, and we just kind of on the spur of the moment, well, I would say maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, we just decided let's do it.
Yeah.
There were some things we experienced then that we wanted to do videos on and put on YouTube because we weren't doing YouTube then, at least not like we are now. Now, there were a couple of things that were kind of a bust. Our reunion tower visit was a bust. I haven't got the video up yet, but I had a little disappointment there, I'll be honest with you, and I'll share more about that in the video. I guess I could tell what it is now. Basically, when we were up there, we were going to stay until night, and because the Dallas skyline is lit up beautifully at night from that tower. So some storms blew through, some pretty intense lightning storms, and they made everybody come inside and get off the deck, which is understandable. I mean, you have to do that. But the thing is, the storms passed, were long gone, and they never would reopen the outside part again, even though there was no longer any lightning anywhere visible. They wouldn't let anybody back out there, so I did not feel we got our money's worth there. Lisa says, hi, y'all. Hello, Lisa. Let's see. Hello, Brenda, Lisa, Marshall. I always hate take off myself. That's where her and I are different. She doesn't like it. To me, that's my favorite part. What I don't like is when you're up there and you feel like the plane just all of a sudden feel like it's dropping. And like you get turbulence, all of a sudden you just feel like you slow down or you lose altitude quickly. That's pretty unnerving.
Yeah, it is.
I always like taking off better, and the wing seats are best. Yeah. When we flew in 2021, we were in front of the wing, which I kind of liked because it didn't obstruct the view. The wings did obstruct the view just a little bit this time, but still, I could have done without looking at that piece missing on the wing. But.
Yeah. And watch them flop like that.
North Carolina Secret Scratcher says, hey, hello. Did you fly over anything cool? Rita's asking that you could see. Yes, we did. I flew over the mountains last time, and I went to Ohio, and it was beautiful. We did not really fly over mountains, but in my flight videos, I actually put some notations on the screen what we're flying over, and that took a lot of video comparison with Google Earth. And plus, I had to go online and get our flight track to see exactly where we went. But I was able to note where we crossed the Mississippi River. I was able to identify many things on the ground from the air just by using Google Earth. So I put notations where I did that. but coming back, we did fly over Houston. We could see the Gulf of Mexico barely through the haze. So yeah, some things that we did fly over that were pretty neat. Let's see. My first trip to Texas, Ken Green says, my first trip to Texas was an all expense paid trip to El Paso. Well, okay, it was basic training at Fort Bliss.
Oh.
Well, thank you for your service, first of all.
Yes.
We loved El Paso. We were only there about 3 hours, and that's another one we want to go back to. That's so different than East Texas.
Yeah.
Desert, mountainous, beautiful, beautiful area.
It really is.
Plane trips are not in the works for me. Yeah, both my parents feel that way as well. Would not fly at all. Granitude KWE. Thank you for being here tonight. I don't think we've seen that name before, so thank you for joining us. Says, I enjoy your videos. I've never flown and was nervous because you were nervous. My husband flew once for a business trip and the turbulence was awful. He said he'd never fly again. Going out there, we had a little bit, but not much. And I thought it'd be worse because we took off in some pretty bad weather in Charlotte.
Yeah, and it was raining.
Yes.
And very cloudy.
It took forever. I figured we'd be above it quickly, but it wasn't until we got to like 28,000 feet that we were actually above the clouds.
Yeah.
And then it cleared off the further westward. But coming home, man, that was a rough flight. That was a rough one.
And once we finally landed, because that landing was bumpy, someone was clapping. It's like, okay, they're glad to be down too.
Okay, Robin asked, did you get your camera fit? How did you make a post about the camera?
I don't think so.
I may have said something.
Oh, the camera. No, they're talking about when we got the spot on it.
Well, something did happen with our camera, so that's why I'm not sure. Or I might have actually mentioned it on the return flight home because I had to record it with a camcorder. I'm not sure. Let me go ahead and tell you about our Monday. Our Monday was a disaster. This is the day we left. Monday, honestly, was a disaster. We got up that morning. We had some time before we had to go to San Antonio Airport, so we went to see the Alamo. So, at the Alamo, which we enjoyed that, but as we're doing our closeout at the end, we had to record it with a cell phone. I'll tell you why. I found a set of wooden bleachers out at the end of the Alamo there along the road, and I said, well, this is a good place to do our closeout because I could just set the camera down. So I did that. I set it on the bleachers, and we started doing our closeout, and some lady comes up, and apparently her husband and family's behind, and she just starts talking very loudly at all. So I told her, I said, let's just do this over. So I went over there to cut the camera off, and the camera got knocked off the bleachers onto the concrete.
And it was about from like 5 feet up in there because it was like level with our faces.
Yeah.
So it was up high and it fell.
And honestly, I was sick to my stomach. That was my $700 camera. That's the only camera I've ever had that shoots 4K video. I got that. It'll be 2 years in October. I haven't even had it 2 years. Excellent video camera. And I dropped it, and when I picked it up, the lens was bent. Had a dent in it. So it wouldn't close. The camera would still turn on, but the lens wouldn't do anything. So it was unusable. So I got it home, took it to a camera repair shop, and here's what the guy tells me. He says, well, I won't know till you buy another lens and I put it in whether the camera's functional or not. And I said, well, if it's not, well, they take the lens back. He says, oh no, you're stuck with it. Oh, so the camera may or may not have been repairable. So what we did last night, I went online, I found the same camera again, and I reordered another one. And I bought the protection plan this time. So
yeah, I asked them, I said, did you buy the protection plan? No, I normally don't do that. I'm like,
yes.
Okay.
The camera now sells at Best Buy for $50 more than what I bought it almost 2 years ago. It's actually a higher price now. I thought maybe since newer models had come out, it might have gone down, but I actually did find it on eBay. Brand new, unused. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, hopefully. Same camera. It was just too good a camera to part with, and I didn't have to pay the full price for it, but still, that's a lot of money to throw towards a camera just for being careless. Now, I don't want to get too far behind the comments, but when I said our Monday was a disaster, that was not all. So the last thing we did, we went back and checked out of our motel. The lady at the motel gave us till 12 o'clock to check out because we were still at the Alamo. And there was a Whataburger right across the street, our second trip to Whataburger. So we went back, and as we're leaving, I'm backing out of space, and I feel resistance, and I backed into somebody's vehicle. Even though I have a rear camera and there was nobody in it when I started, I was trying to avoid the vehicle parked to the left of me, so I'm kind of looking at the camera, then looking at that vehicle, going very slowly. So I backed into a lady's vehicle and put a dent in it. Did not harm the rental, thank God. But it put a pretty nasty dent in hers. So exchanged information and all that. So we're going to take care of that, looks like.
It's turning out to be an expensive.
This is all in an hour and a half. I dropped my $700 camera and I back into somebody. So but we got home. The flight landed safely.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say we're home safe. That's
it could have
great.
been worse, but it did not start off good at all. It was Monday was a miserable day. All right, let's scroll down here. Did you get your camera? Okay, hi Brenda B. The youth rally was wonderful to listen to. Yes, very very good.
Yeah,
It's good every year.
Yeah.
Every year. And let's see, I'm losing our place
Oh,
here.
right there you are. Brenda B.
Okay. North Carolina Secret Scripture. What part of North Carolina are you? We are in the western part of the state. We're about an hour east of Asheville, about an hour northwest of Charlotte. Not far from Interstate 40, about 20 minutes north of Interstate 40. Smoky Mountain, Brian and Brenda, we are glad you're both back. We missed you both. Smoky Mountain's blessed. Hi, Derek and Shaughnessy. Hello. Okay, that's Joy Bless Live. Yes,
Yes.
I just changed your name. Okay, yes, took me a minute there. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. You dropped a $700. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
He's been sick. Every time he thinks about it, he'll say, "Oh, I feel."
I've always been too cheap. In fact, let me get it. Keep talking.
He's gonna go grab it, I guess, and show you guys what it looks like, the damage on it.
Yeah. So, I don't know how good you'll be able to see this, but if you notice the top of the camera there, the lens is bent to the side. It's pointing that way. And where he hit the pavement, where's the dent? Let's see.
On the bottom.
Yeah, it's got the dent right here on the bottom. And when you turn it on, it won't do anything. It won't turn, rotate. That's the best camera I've ever had for videoing. So I went back with the same one again. But yeah, I think that thing had years of life left in it. I don't know if I will end up repairing it just to have a spare. I may do that, but it's what the guy's telling me is it's risky because I'll have to buy the lens, and then if he gets it in there and it still isn't fully functional, then
We just have an extra lens we can't.
yeah. But there's a possibility that it would be fully functional, and then I'd have two cameras. So I may do that at some point, but I wanted to go ahead and be sure and get another one.
Yeah.
So glad you had a safe trip. Yes, thank you. Would you believe an ad from Avis Car Rental just popped up? That's not happening. I can tell you that now. Hey guys, glad you had a safe trip. Hey Brenda. Hey Joy. Hey Kathy. I Smoky Mountain Best. Are you? Let's see. Man, it's so warm in this RV today. I'm ready to buy a home.
I guess those things would get pretty warm.
Angie Williamson. I went to the Smokies and y'all went to Texas. I lived in Olney, Texas for a little while when I was a small child. My dad is a preacher and he pastors. Okay. Where is, I've heard of that, but I don't know what part of the state that's in. Is that near Dallas, Fort Worth area? Or that's where we started off the trip, was in Dallas, Fort Worth. Yeah, so what we basically did, we flew out Thursday night, landed in Dallas, Fort Worth, and stayed in Arlington, actually, between Dallas. It's really right halfway between either one.
Yeah.
Stayed there for 3 nights and then went down to San Antonio, met up with a couple of her aunts that live near Austin, Texas, and then spent the last night in San Antonio. Now, San Antonio is a nice city to visit. The Riverwalk is nice. Parking there is a nightmare. We had been told that because we were getting there on a Sunday evening, we'd have no trouble finding free parking on the street. There was tens of thousands of people in town, and we had a lot of trouble.
They were having a fiesta.
I think we had to walk 1.5 miles, 2 miles, probably 1.5 miles.
Yeah, there was 2 weeks of fiesta festival or something like that, and Sunday was the last day of it, and I guess everybody hadn't left yet. So
somebody commented earlier, the Mexican restaurant looked like a great atmosphere, and it really was. Yeah,
it was nice.
Yeah, right there on the river. It just had a very authentic feel to it. But like I said, I think we did post that video, but I have 5, 6, 7 more videos to post. I got a lot of work. I'm gonna try to bring y'all some a little bit different things than what we usually do. But we just been wanting to go back to that area for so long.
Yeah.
And when we were out there before, our son had been at Fort Hood, and he was getting ready to be deployed to Kuwait, so he had a few days leave, came up to Dallas Fort Worth. His wife met him out there, so we drove out too just to see him again before he left for 9 months, and drove her back because she was scheduled to fly back on Saturday, and we didn't leave till Sunday. So we told her, said, "Look, just miss your flight, and we'll take you home the next day." And that's what she did. I want to go to San Antonio one day. Yeah.
There's a lot to do there. I mean, the Riverwalk. I mean, we walked it fast, but I mean, you could really spend some time there.
And by the way, Deborah, your family is in our prayers. I know y'all are just going through something,
most definitely.
and that's very sad. But you know, our prayers are with you tonight. But
she said that it's 2.5 hours from Dallas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 2.5 hours from Dallas. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. I was surprised how big Austin was. I knew that was the capital, but I didn't think it was a big city. But I love going through cities and seeing skylines. And Austin has a very, very impressive skyline. Honestly, it's a bigger city than I thought it was.
And I drove through it.
Yeah, and I prayed through it. Road trips are fun to share now, and I agree with the change to see other things. Yeah. As far as our meals out there, you know, I don't want to get too much on that barbecue place, but somebody did actually say, let's talk about it. That's the strangest setup I've ever seen at any restaurant.
And we were actually reading reviews and looked up things before we, made our decision on where to eat. So it was like in the top, 10 places for best brisket.
We just Googled best beef brisket in Fort Worth, and about 10 came up. There was that one. There was Angelo's, I think.
A Goldie's.
Risky's. Yes. And Railway Station.
Something.
So anyway, we chose Cooper's because it was right there at the Stockyards, and that's where we were going to be next. So I have never in my life seen a place where you go in there and you just tell the guy where to put the knife. I said, well, just give us about half a pound. He says, I don't know what half a pound is. I'm like, you do this for a living, man. You ought to be able to get close, you know. But I knew then we'd had it. So,
yeah.
I was confused with y'all at the barbecue. Yeah, tell me about it. That was something else there.
And to be so expensive, it's like you don't get. I mean, well, you do get sides, but
to not even get sides with it except for the basics. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean the prime rib. Okay, that added $20-some to the bill.
Yes, it did.
But you would still like if you went and got 2 brisket plates, you would at least get 1 or 2 sides and some bread. Here it's like. Who wants pickles and raw onions?
Any barbecue place you go to around here, you're going to get 2 sides and bread. You're going to get 2 sides. You can get macaroni and cheese, and you don't have to pay, what was it, $2 or $3 extra for it. I think baked potatoes $4 or something.
Yeah, I think the baked potatoes $4, corn was $3. Yeah.
And honestly, I could not recommend the place just because of the way they do. I mean, that's just honestly, and the beef brisket itself was very tender, but it was not any more flavorful than.
We actually went back and looked at our video because it's like, well, did it even have a smoke ring on it? We didn't even
No, there was
see
no
a smoke
ring.
ring.
And it didn't, nothing really had a smoke flavor.
Yeah. It smelled good outside, but I can't say it had a smoky smell. If you go to a barbecue restaurant around here, you got that smoky, there's smoke in it.
Nothing was bad. It just wasn't an experience that, I mean, it was memorable, but not the good way. Ken Green says, our granddaughter was engaged at the Riverwalk, and a boat full of people saw that was happening, and they all cheered. That's neat. That's something else.
Yeah.
Those boat tours are everywhere. We actually took one. Mm-hmm. There will be a video, but
we did it at night.
Yeah. So congratulations to your granddaughter for getting engaged in a beautiful place there.
Yeah.
Kathy S. Now, let me say something about this one. That plane flying below you on the flight back, would you believe I didn't even see that when I was recording? It wasn't until I got home and was putting the video together that I noticed it. I didn't even see that.
He showed it to me, and I was like, you must have blinked at that, second or something when it went underneath.
I had seen other planes out in the distance, and I tried to show them to her, and she couldn't see them because she doesn't have very good long-range vision. But I had no idea that plane flew that close underneath us until I got home. Mm-hmm. I did not see it when I was recording. I just happened to catch it. I did something like that in Cades Cove one night. I was testing out a camera in the dark, and I just took a picture. And I kid you not, when I looked at the picture, there was like right in the middle of the screen. I mean, it was as perfect as if I was trying to get. There's a bat flying right there in front.
Eyes glowing and everything. And, you couldn't see it.
You couldn't even see it. So I tend to do stuff like that. So about that barbecue place looks very confusing and expensive. That's the way I would describe it too, confusing and expensive.
everybody else act like they knew what they were doing. But
Well, they'd probably go there soon, but yeah, I
I
didn't
think
know.
there'd be other tourists like us.
When it said meat's priced by the pound, okay, I got that part. And then it says you tell us how much you want, or you tell. I don't remember how it was worded exactly, but I thought that meant okay, give me half a pound, 3/4 of a pound. You know, try to get as close as you can. And the guy just sits there and plays dumb. Says, well, you just tell me where to put the knife. So here I have to guess. He does this every day. I don't. So.
And we were pretty hungry too. So,
Yeah.
or we had him put the knife was probably too. We're thinking, okay, yeah, that'll be enough.
So I've never been on a plane, but if I was on it and saw a piece missing, I probably would have had a heart attack. Yeah. I kept trying to tell myself, oh, it's just the way it's made. They wouldn't be, they check these things out, but probably should have said something. Linda Wiley, would you go back? If you're talking about Texas, absolutely. If you're talking about the barbecue place, no.
Mm-mm.
I would try something else. I would go to a barbecue place in Texas again, but on 2 trips, we've been to 2 barbecue places. One was right there in the Stockyards, Risky's Barbecue, and it weren't bad. It was probably on par with what we get here. It just wasn't anything that just knocked your socks off.
Someone recommended going to like a little mom and pop place for barbecue, and that would probably be something to try. You know, if we go
I'll
back.
tell you what though, I would go back to Risky's before I would go back to Cooper's, just to be honest with you, because Risky's there was nothing bad about the experience
And
there.
it seems like at Risky's, I got just pulled pork. I don't remember having brisket.
Yeah. So Brian B, the longest plane ride I was on was a 24-hour plane ride. Mission trip to Uganda. It's a good reason to go on one. I do not want to be on a plane for 24 hours.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I love your site. You were honest. Thank you, Frank, for that. You know, and let me just say this. I don't want y'all, when these videos go up, I don't want y'all to think, well, he just getting where he complains all the time. There's going to be about 3 videos that are less than perfect. All right. And, but still, it was overall a good experience. But the reunion tower video, I'm going to share what happened there. I don't think that it's not just us. I wasn't the only one upset about it. There was people in the elevator going down. As we're all going down that night after not being let back out on the deck, everybody, look, you have phones nowadays. Everybody can look at the weather radar and know where the storms are, and that we're nowhere near Dallas at this point. They had already passed through. So the elevator attendant says, everybody have a good evening. One woman says, no, we wanted to go back outside. Just real high. So he just kind of got quiet the rest of the way down. But there was a feeling up there that amongst everybody, not just us, that we did not get our money's worth that night. And then there was a little, what do you call that? A little confrontation at the Stockyards at one of the stores. So anyway, I don't know how much of that I'm going to share, but there one of the store owners there, KO Trading Post there in Stockyard Station, was kind of very rude. And I didn't, I didn't back down from him either. She's like, "Come on, let's just." I said, "No, I got something."
He wasn't the owner. He was, I guess.
He's not the owner. I didn't learn that after we got home because I was gonna let him know. I told him, I said, "I'm putting you on YouTube for the way you're acting and stuff. I guess I'm gonna put this on YouTube." And anyway, but then I realized he was not the owner, so I don't know how much of that I'm gonna actually do. But there was a little deal there. But I don't want y'all to think, man, this guy went out there with a chip on it. We really didn't. Just we happened to have a couple of experiences in a row. And then the Cooper's thing. But other than that, it was still overwhelmingly a great trip.
Mm-hmm.
AT&T Stadium was great. Saltgrass was great.
Yeah.
Casa Rio was great.
Well, the Riverwalk was good. I mean, it was just kind of frustrating to find parking.
It was a little hard for us to navigate. Hot. Yeah.
And it was hot.
Yes, it was hot. It was like 86 degrees in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then having to do all that walking, yeah, that just added to it.
Smoky Mountains West, you have to pray yourself a safe trip flying. Oh, believe me, we certainly did pray a lot.
We did.
But also driving a car because of other drivers.
Mm-hmm.
My thing driving a car, I have to pray for myself, patience. I always feel like if everybody drive like I drive, the world would be a better place and the roads would be a better place, but not everybody does. But 24-hour plane ride to Uganda. Man, it seems like you could about circle the globe in 24 hours. I don't know. I couldn't do it. They would have to give me knockout drops.
One thing I was telling him, every time we get like up, I guess to the high altitude, wherever we're at, I always get so sleepy. And I told him, I said, I wonder if it's the pressure in the cabin. Because, he doesn't get sleepy. He's like the little meme of Kermit the Frog with his face glued to the window. And me, I'm like over there trying to hold my eyes open.
There would be no videos right now if I hadn't.
That's true,
but there'd be some other people's videos, but not ours. Flying is not something I've done but a handful of times, but we pretty much had to get everything in. We drove to Dallas last time.
Mm-hmm.
We just drove out there to see our son for a day or two. And that was hard driving it out there on Thursday night, coming back Sunday.
Mm-hmm. It was.
It's over 1,000 miles, and it's almost like you have to paint yourself to make yourself believe you're really there when you're on the plane 2.5 hours and you're in from Charlotte to Dallas. It's unbelievable how fast.
That's true.
You're going.
Yeah.
So y'all don't complain too much. Y'all tell the truth. That's why. Thank you, Wendy. I just don't want y'all to get the idea I'm starting to be a complainer after this week of videos, because there were 3 things. And I told y'all what they are: Cooper's Reunion Tower, and then the incident at the Stockyards. I'll go ahead and tell you what happened there at the Stockyards. You go down the streets, and believe me, we love the Stockyards. There's some great stores there.
So this is the Stockyard station. This is where the little...
Yeah, you walk down towards, and there's railroad tracks that runs right through it. It's like a covered alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
Check your charger connection. Hit that right quick on the screen. All right. And you go down that alleyway where the train comes through, and there's shops on both sides. Well, we had been in several stores, and we're recording in several stores just to let people know the businesses are there. I liked all the stores except for this one. I didn't get to see it, and I might have liked it too. So when we start to go in this one, there is a sign. I'll be honest. There is a sign saying, at this time, it said at this time, I believe, no strollers because we're congested, or we're too congested at this time for strollers. Well, we have a pet stroller. So when I read that, I didn't realize that was an all the time policy. They don't allow strollers, period, because that's the way it's worded. Makes you think, okay, they were really busy. There was a problem with strollers in there, so they're just putting up a sign like right now.
And so I had said, I'll stand out here with the stroller.
Yes.
You go through, and they come out. You stand out here and watch them. And then I'll go, because this previous store we were just in was super congested. Let's just say I had to stand
very
basically
congested.
in
They
one
didn't have a problem
spot.
with the stroller.
And it was just like this place here. It looked much more wide open.
Well, I walked in first because she was going to stand there, and I looked in. I said, "Well, no, they're not congested now. That must have been an hour or so ago."
Mm-hmm.
And it was very wide open as you go in. There's plenty of space. So I said, "You just come on in and just stay right here, and I'll go around the store and record, and then I'll come back and watch it. You go around." Well, you can hear the guy on there come up and tell her, he says, "Ma'am, I need you to do me a favor. I want you to park that stroller outside. Park it outside with their dogs in it." Now, what about people who have their babies in it?
I walked out. I said, "I ain't leaving it."
Yeah, she just said, "I'm not leaving it." And who would? So we went on to a couple more of the stores, and this is probably where I should have let it go, but it started getting under my skin the way he had done. So I went back in there to the store and was going to record the name of it because I hadn't really looked at the name. And I put the guy on the camera. And I mean, I was probably from across the room from him, about 10, 12 feet from him. So I put it on there and I put record. I said, "This is the guy that made us leave." And then I started to walk out. So he follows me out of the store. He says, "You got a problem?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Not be honest with you, I do." And he said, "What is it?" I said, "It's this sign right here." I said, "We thought that was maybe when y'all were congested and had a lot of people." I said, "This is the only store here that doesn't allow a stroller." And I said, "You're not congested now. So what was the problem?" And he says, "That's a policy for a theft deterrent. People come in here and stuff all kinds," and then he used a profane word into these strollers. I said, "Well, we're not going to steal from you." I said, "But are you saying this is an all the time policy?" He says, "Yeah, all the time." I said, "Well, that's not what your sign says." And he started using some pretty rough language with me, and we're standing outside this time. He says, "You can just leave." And that's when that kind of run all over me. I said, "Look, but I'm not in your store and I'm not blocking the entrance." I said, "I can stand here all day if I want to." And so he didn't say anything about that, but he kind of wanted to get in my face a little bit. And I said, "Well," here's what he said. I said, "Do you honestly expect a person who has their child asleep in a stroller to park it outside?" I said, "You can't do that." And here's what he said. I promise, just what he said. He says, "Yes, I can. This is Texas. We can do it." Well, I don't know what Texas has to do with it. I think what he's trying to say is that we have freedom here. Well, that's great. I'm all for freedom, but you can't expect a mother or a pet owner, whoever that has a stroller with something or somebody in it that they value, to just park it outside unattended and leave it. And so I said, "Well, if this is Texas and you can do that," I said, "This is also Texas and I can make a video of it." So that didn't. So she's like, "Come on, let's go." Finally, I did. I finally said, "You have a good day." And then when I said, "You have a good day," he says, "Don't you worry about blankety blank what day I have." So it's like, okay. And that's what I told him. I said, "That's something else that's bad for business." I said, "We're 2 grown men. We ought to be able to talk to each other without talking like this." So at that point, he's all right, so it was over then. But anyway, I hate stuff like that happens. But
I told Derek, I said, if he had just come out and said, "Hey, we've had a lot of people putting stuff into strollers and stealing it, and they make a policy about that," I respect that. It's like, okay, I get
We
it.
respect it. I wouldn't agree with it.
But he has a right to make that
He
policy.
has a right to make that policy. His is the only store in the station that has that policy,
Yeah.
and his was much more wide open than the store we had just come out of, which was congested and had no issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but he wanted to get this is Texas. We can do whatever blame we want to. And I said, well, then I can put it on YouTube. So, again, I don't know how much that I'm going to put because I'm not real proud of myself, to be honest with you. But it's just like the way he talked to her and the way he said that he would expect a mother to leave her child in a stroller outside. It just, you know. I told him that was a really, really bad policy. And I said I wouldn't spend a dime in your store because of that, you know. Mm-hmm. Hello, Sean from Gatlinburg. Hello from Gatlinburg. Want to say hello and hope you're doing well. We are. Hope you are. Mm-hmm. And Preacher Sam is very nice as well, Joy. I guess you're talking about Sam from Preacher Smokehouse. Yes, yes, he is very nice. From Greensboro to Hawaii is 10 hours. Hopefully one of these days we're going to make it to Hawaii.
Love to do that one. Yeah.
Would you eat at the same places again? Okay, NC/Michigan.
Is that to us?
I guess. All of them except the barbecue place. Yes, I would absolutely eat at all of them again. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what the reference to NC in Michigan is. Last time we were in Michigan was 30 some years ago.
Yeah, for a while.
I think we ate at Bob Evans in Port Huron, Michigan. So Scott says, I wanted to help you with the tamale while I was watching. They're an acquired taste. I did not acquire that.
Yeah, I take a taste of it. I didn't like it.
The husk is a good sign. It's what they cook them in. Probably made there and not frozen. You put the chili on it. Okay.
Oh.
Well, they should come with instructions then because the tamale was the only thing on my plate I didn't like. I didn't care for that.
It was a weird texture.
Probably would have been better mixed with the chili though. Yes, it was. I didn't know if the corn husk was cooked in a way that I just picked the whole thing up, you know, because it looked like stuffed inside of the pocket there. So the corn husk wasn't
he asked me,
budging.
do I eat this part? I said, I don't know, just try it.
I like your Texas Buc-ee's shirt, Shaughnessy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had to go to Buc-ee's in Texas. I said, I have to have a shirt.
I was going to get one. They had one I really liked. It was a picture of Texas in the background, the Bucky beaver and a cactus. And I'm not kidding you, we stopped at 2 Buc-ee's. Every one of them was size 3X. All of them.
And then they had
like 20 shirts.
No other sizes.
And then youth sizes. There was nothing. I wear extra large. There was nothing.
Yeah. And I found out one of my aunts works at a Buc-ee's too. She works in the bakery department. We didn't get to go to that one, but she works at a Buc-ee's. I thought that was pretty neat.
He was giving an attitude because of his bad experiences, but he did not need to treat everyone like thieves. Just clearly state the policy. I agree. And again, the way the note was written, and I will have to go back and look because I don't want to get it wrong, but I think it said at this time. I want to say that phrase was used. When you watch the video, you'll see if I'm right on that. Due to congestion, or we're too congested at this time. So that made it sound like it was a paper sign. Made it sound like they put that up because they were really busy and maybe there have been people trying to get around. But when you go in the store, you can see when we went in, it's wide open there as you go in, right in the middle. You could pull that thing to the side and not be in anybody's way. Derek, you and I agree on guacamole. Even Brenda doesn't like. I don't know who would.
I love guacamole. I can eat avocados raw by themselves. They are delicious.
You're welcome to every one of them. That's something I can't. I love Mexican food, but never had a tamale. We visited our first Buc-ee's in Richmond, Kentucky on the way to Indiana. Yeah, I knew there was one there. I'm looking forward to the one in Sevierville.
Yeah, me too.
Wendy says, I don't mean this ugly, but I don't understand if you live close to the Smokies, why in the world would you go anywhere else? If you knew how many times we go to the Smokies a year, and I don't get tired of it, but to be honest with you, when you're doing this, I mean, there's other places, like I say, we've been to Dallas, Fort Worth years ago before we were doing this. There's just some things there I thought would make some great videos, and we had always said we want to go back when we had time. So since we are now doing videos, it just seemed like a good time to do it. Go ahead.
And the Smokies are wonderful. I mean, to go and visit and stuff like that.
We're always going to be going there.
Always going to be going there. But Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge has gotten so big and so crowded, and just we live in a beautiful country that has so many beautiful places to go and look and explore and just sometimes just to change the scenery.
When we started doing these videos, it was fun, and it still is, but there is a thing now that you kind of feel a little pressure to do different places, like even different restaurants. Now, we'll be making videos as long as we both live up there because we'll never get all the restaurants tried. But before this, we had favorites we would try to go to at least once every other trip, and we're not doing that as much now because there's that pressure to bring something new. You know what I'm saying? Or at least we're trying to space, like, okay, we did a review on this place already. Let's wait a year or two. You know what I mean? So there are things in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge area that we used to do a lot more than we're doing now, as far as restaurants go. But there's so many places to try, we'll never get them tried.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to get a Tennessee Bucky's shirt when I go to the exit 407. Yeah, me too, as long as they have my size.
Well, hopefully they'll have like a special one since it's supposed to be the biggest one.
I have learned for shopping for shirts, everybody wears an extra large. My husband doesn't understand why I want to go to the Smokies all the time, though. I do understand it. It's my favorite place in the world. I've still not found a place I like better, but I found places I like.
Yeah.
And it just, there's so much to see. This country is so varied. And so, you know, when we took our Western trip in 2021, we brought some things in El Paso and Arizona. Arizona is, oh goodness, what a state.
I love Arizona.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I love it.
Yeah. And even, I say it's California. Now, politically, I'm not, don't agree with most of California, but there are some pretty places in California to see. There's also, there's also some very sad things in California, like in LA especially. But I've been enjoying Wares Valley and Townsend here lately. Excellent places. You're a little bit out of the hustle and bustle, although Wares Valley is building up some too now. Mm-hmm. I feel like I live on vacation living in the Smokies. Yeah, but an occasional road trip is fun too. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. And Granny 2KWE says, the Smokies is our vacation spot every year. I understand. We'll be going to the Smokies a lot, especially with the Dollywood passes. We'll be going several times this year. And obviously we have our camping trip coming up in September. So we're going to be making several trips to the Smokies.
Yeah, we will.
Looks like the national park is taken down. Did they take them? Well, they can't take videos down. Maybe he did, or they may have threatened him. I don't know. But the national park itself cannot take videos down. The YouTube can. I
wonder if it made him. I mean, or it shouldn't say made him because of the.
I heard he went off and then back on, but I don't know. But any video he made prior to October of last year should be safe. It's within the time that this had been overturned.
Yeah.
And I've heard there's a bill to overturn it again. I don't know how true that is. Lisa says, my husband was born and raised in Phoenix. Yes, I remember you telling me that. And I think you said you may be going back there and flying out. So Phoenix is a good airport that we've flown into Phoenix. Well, we've flown into it once and out of it twice, if that makes sense. I'm ready to see y'all at Dollywood. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon. Should we bring up the moldy menus? You're talking about at Caserio. Yeah, I don't know about yours.
I didn't notice it on mine.
That's my menu was dirty.
Somebody made a comment, and I was like, was yours dirty? And he says, yeah.
I guess just being right there on the river, I don't know.
I don't remember mine having anything on it.
I'm also ready to see some videos from the park. I'm sure missing those. As of now, we do plan to record in the park, but we just cannot monetize those videos until something gives.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm not sure what the case is with William and Smoky Mountain Hiker. I heard he went off for a while, but was back. I haven't honestly checked lately. Yes, October. Okay. That's probably, I don't know. I've never been to Phoenix in October, but I would guess that's probably a good time to go. It's not 120 degrees. When we went in December, it was very pleasantly cool. Yeah. So if anybody has any more questions about it, there's other things I felt like I wanted to say, but I feel like I'm not remembering everything. I don't know. My mind goes blank, I guess, sometimes.
And I'm trying to think too. It's like, okay, wait a minute. One thing about the Riverwalk, we have looked at that on a map several times before we went, because it basically kind of makes the circle, and then there's one little like tail part that ends up at the mall, which we were able to find. But all the maps around, excuse me, like there's a legend, and it says you are here over here in the legend, but it never shows where you're at on the map.
Yeah, it's like the symbol where you're supposed to be it is not there.
So there were several times, because the Riverwalk, besides that circle, then it branches off, going down, I guess, side streets or whatever. We ended up on those twice, walking a good ways out of our way. But
Ken Green says, I was also in Arizona at the Army at Fort, and I'm just going to take a stab at Huachuca, which is in the same county as Tombstone. Yes, is that Cochise County? I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong. We have been to Tombstone. and I've seen signs for the fort. That is an interesting place to go if you have not been there. We spent a day, 2/3 of a day in Tombstone when we were staying in Tucson.
That was a long
1998. Love Tombstone, but that's another place I'd love to go back
Yeah.
to. But yes, we did. We went to the OK Corral. Ate somewhere and ate a buffalo burger. I remember that being really good. And we went to Boot Hill. I liked Tombstone. Yeah. Then we drove down from there. We left and went down to Bisbee and actually crossed into Mexico and then came back. Just at that time, we'd never been on a cruise like to Cozumel. We just wanted to say we'd been in Mexico. So we Agua Prieta, Mexico, right below. I want to say Douglas, Arizona. I don't remember the Arizona town.
Totally different once you cross that border.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Totally
we're trying to get back into the U.S. and we're in line there, and two guys come up and start squeegeeing our windshield.
And I liked it too. He knocks on the window.
Yeah, afterwards they did not say, "Would you like for us to do
$2
this?" They just did it, and then
$1 for him.
one paid $2.
It was so fun. $1 for me, $1 for him.
And I was like, "Really?"
You shoved $2 out.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to get hurt, but I just normally you ask somebody before you just do that. Northern Arizona is my favorite. Yes, we like Flagstaff area as well. Much different weather up there. Honey butter chicken biscuit is great from Whataburger. We have a Whataburger in Louisiana.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds real good.
Yeah, I think Texas. I was reading on this because everybody kept saying we have them. I think Texas has over 700 of them. But I think they're pretty much in the bordering states around Texas, like Louisiana and Mexico, New Mexico, I'm sorry. Probably, I'm assuming Oklahoma and Arkansas. I don't know about Arkansas, but Georgia and Florida do have some as well, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tennessee has them, a few around Nashville and then west, but none east of Nashville. Ken said I was there way before 1998, 1967. Okay, all right. That's 2 years before I was born.
And Margaret, we're going to be driving to Minnesota this summer. So
yes.
We are driving.
And we're going to try to do a video, some things along the way there too.
Yeah, we're going to make that part of the trip.
We used to make that trip every year when her grandparents were living. And then since they passed, we haven't been back. It's been since 2002. It'll be 21 years this summer. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you something interesting. You talk about a small world. When we went to the Fort Worth Stockyards, that was on Saturday. So we leave Sunday morning to drive down to San Antonio to meet up with two of her aunts around Austin. So we get to San Antonio that night, I guess, and you're looking on Facebook, and one of your cousins and one of your aunts from Minnesota.
Two of my cousins and their mom and some friends are in Fort Worth.
Are in the Stockyards the day after we were there. And we didn't even know they were going. I don't guess they knew we were going. But people from Minnesota, her family, were in the Stockyards one day after we were. And I told her, I said, wouldn't that not have been something to have been walking through there? You're not, when you're in Texas, you ain't expecting to see anybody let alone somebody from Minnesota that you're related to. I said, would that not have been something if we had seen them there and been there at the same time? Mm-hmm. But that was interesting because we had no idea they were going.
Yeah.
They were here back in July.
Yeah, they come up for a long weekend.
Yeah. And so we had no idea they were in Texas until the next day. But yep, that's going to be a drive. That's about 1,100 miles from here to where we're going. We're going to try to do some things along the way. We're going to stop at Buc-ee's, of course, in Sevierville. One thing I've always liked about that drive, and there's not much to like because it's long, but is when you're going up I-75 in northern Kentucky, when you go into Cincinnati, it's just beautiful because you basically don't see it until you're around the curve, get right across the bridge, and it just breaks into view. Mm-hmm. That's really neat. I've always loved that.
Yeah.
How many miles to the area of Minnesota you're going from North Carolina? About 1,100. If I remember correctly, it's about 1,100 miles from here to St. Cloud, Minnesota. And that's where we'll be going. When is the next hike? Well, we'll have to ask Miss. I get hurt every time we hike. So,
anytime she does anything.
She twisted her ankle the last one. We were planning, and I guess it's still tentative if our son will watch our dogs that weekend around my birthday, middle of June, to Gregory Ball. That is the plan. Again, the weather factors into that. If it's going to be rainy, I'm not going to do it in the rain.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a pretty clear day.
Yeah. Plus the national park thing just kind of still, it puts a little bit of a damper on it. Mm-hmm. You can stop at the Richmond, and we may do that as well. We may probably stop at every Buc-ee's we see. The problem is you can spend a lot of time and a lot of money in a Buc-ee's if you're not careful.
The 2 stops we made, I spent $27 first stop, the second stop, and this is the same day. I spent $29.
But you got a shirt.
One of them was a shirt, and I did get a box of their fudge because I wanted to try it. And of course, she always have to get a bunch of drinks.
Yeah.
I don't remember what else we all got. Snacks.
Brian, due to the fact that Smoky Mountain hiker hikes in the Great Smoky National Park, he can't make or film anything posting. What I understand, I don't want to tell anybody wrong, he could still do like a picture slideshow, but not video. It's because that's one of the things I've heard lawyers talk about, how it makes no sense that you can use a camera and take the same picture, but the minute you hit the record button, it's suddenly illegal. It's a ridiculous rule.
Mm-hmm.
The people are supposed to own the national parks. Just one more erosion of freedom.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's fudge is so good. Yeah, we got the sample box because I wanted to try the banana and the blueberry.
I didn't care for the banana.
Well, that's okay because I liked it.
The praline is my favorite. Anything with caramel in it. And then they had a chocolate salted caramel, which was amazing too. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I've never understood the salted caramel thing. I don't get it. Salt and caramel together. When are you going? Cates Cove again, September, Labor Day, we camp there. I'm not saying we won't drive through before that, but that time for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Has everybody given us a thumbs up that's watching? Please do.
We would appreciate that.
We would appreciate that.
And our subscriber that asked us to do the live stream, talk about this, I have not seen him yet, so we're waiting on you. So I hope to hear from you tonight. But I thought it was a great idea. It hadn't even really occurred to us to have a live stream about that topic. But yeah, he asked us if we would and give him 24, 48 hour notice, which I did. And I hope he's here tonight.
Mm-hmm. Rita likes salted caramel. Thank you.
Team salted caramel. There's just some things salt don't go on, and another one's watermelon. I know a lot of people like put salt on their watermelon. I don't get that either.
I like it. I can have it either way. That's neither here nor there.
Something that's sweet don't need salt, but that's
sweet
fine.
and salty.
We will probably stop at Buc-ee's in Florence on our way home. We've been to that one.
Mm-hmm.
We actually stopped there.
Yeah.
November, I guess, when we went down.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, y'all. Yes, thumbs up, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Buc-ee's had, when we first went, they had the like chocolate covered pretzels and then the yogurt covered pretzels that we had a raspberry. They quit carrying those. All flavors of pretzels. I'm kind of disappointed. That was like a really delicious snack. And what else did they quit carrying? I told you about. Was that it?
What did you mention? The pretzels?
That's what I was just saying.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
No.
I was reading the comments. Yeah, that was the main one I remember you talking about.
Yeah.
Shaughnessy, Dr. Pepper milkshake fan or not?
No, I'd probably not get it again. I tried it. The first one, of course, tasted really like a vanilla one because it was
a little bit of flavor.
Yeah, but it's like I wouldn't have really picked up on it the first one. The second time, it was a little darker, a little bit more. It was almost like a float mixed up as a milkshake. Just wasn't overpowering Dr. Pepper flavor.
Kathy Phillips, it's so wonderful to see you live. I love you both. Big Buzz. Thank you so much for that and for watching, and we appreciate your kind words. Lisa, I'll probably get a shirt there. They got quite a few selections.
And different places have different ones. So that's pretty neat.
I've never bought a Buc-ee's shirt just because, I don't know. I mean, if they want to, that's fine. I just never have thought I wanted a shirt with a beaver. But the one with Texas I did like because it just had him out there in the desert and with the state of Texas. I was going to get that one.
And I've got another one too that's just, what does it say, Buc-ee's and honeybees or something like that. Just a spring one.
I've only been in one Buc-ee's so far. Are they all the same? Yes and no. They all have clean restrooms, every one I've been in. They all have pretty much the same stuff, but they're not set up the same. The first two we went to last summer ever was Warner Robins, Georgia, and Daytona Beach, Florida. They're pretty much the same. When you go in, and I don't have this backwards. I think the grocery sections on the food sections on the left and the souvenirs are on the right.
Yeah, I think so.
We got the one in St. Augustine. It was totally reversed. And
So it can be either side, but
Yeah.
But other than that, they're pretty much the same.
They pretty much have the same stuff.
Yeah.
Did we? Oh, where are the pups? Right. Okay, hold on. I gotta scroll back up. We stop at Buc-ee's in Leeds, Alabama, on our way to the Smokies. Yeah, you can get about everything you need at them.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the pups? Right now, I do not know. Oh, I see them now. They're laying on the floor over here. Yeah, they're being quiet. I'm glad you don't hear them walking around. Sometimes
I fed them right before we came home.
Did you guys go on the crazy expressway? Yes, we did. Not in Houston, but Dallas, Arlington, that area. Yeah, did one time in Houston there.
So the one in Austin that went up like super high.
Yeah.
I was driving. He's like, "Don't look down. Just look straight
That bothers
ahead.
me worse than taking off a plane.
I told him, I said, that don't bother me none. I mean, it's so
But when I'm driving over, yeah, they say the same thing around Atlanta, the 285 bypass. We call it Spaghetti Junction there.
Yeah.
I hate going up on the tall one there because you just feel like, I don't know, if you make one wrong move, you're going to go off of it. But see, it's got the salted caramel pretzel at Buc-ee's.
Yeah, now I can't find them anymore. Or the raspberry flavor, which was also a favorite of mine. Can't find them.
I'll tell you what Buc-ee's has that's really good, the jerky. And really, it's $30-some a pound, but you get a couple good sized pieces for just a few bucks because it takes a lot to make a pound. And they got more flavors to try than they have a cherry maple that's really good, a bohemian garlic, which is my favorite. They got teriyaki. They got all kinds of them, man. They got hot. Did you get beaver nuggets?
We've gotten them before.
We
not
have,
this
not
time.
this trip, yes.
But yeah, they are good.
In fact, a lady in our church just went to a Buc-ee's, where was it, St. Augustine?
Yeah.
And she brought us back a bag of them too.
She knows how much we love Buc-ee's.
Yeah. So anybody else have any questions?
Oh, Joy's signing off. Have a good night.
Good night. Yes, have a good one. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, still several videos to come. I try to get the restaurant videos are pretty easy because I take most of those from my phone. I can just upload them when I get back to the motel. The other ones are not easy. What?
Nothing. Oh, did I hit you?
Yeah, I thought you were trying to tell me
Stretching,
something.
sorry.
Call me old-fashioned, but we just prefer to patronize the small mom-and-pop stations. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Buc-ee's is just like well, I don't know what the word is. It's just something you got to see. It's just, I've never seen anything so big. I've always liked Pilot and Flying J plazas before, and I still do. But I don't know. Buc-ee's is just impressive from the minute you pull in. You probably got, 75, 100 gas pumps.
That and then all the food. The only thing they like is picnic tables outside, somewhere to eat.
That is true. They have all this food, and you can get your brisket sandwiches right there and nowhere to eat it. We've actually had to go outside on top of the trash cans and put our food on top of the trash cans and eat.
Along with everybody else standing out there too, yeah.
Lake Lure is a nice place. Yeah, we actually went to Chimney Rock.
Mm-hmm. It was before we started.
Valentine's Day 2 years ago, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it been 3? 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is nice. Need to do it again.
Yes, we do. We did not do a video there. Spend your money and run.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we stayed in Arlington, we just stayed at the Howard Johnson's, is where we'd stay last time, and had a decent rate. We were literally right beside Texas Rangers Globe Life Park and AT&T Stadium. We can see them both. Right beside Six Flags.
Yeah.
Which Six Flags, we only saw like one ride running. I don't even know what the deal was.
We ended up Googling it, and it said it was open on Saturdays and Sundays only, but it was like you never saw roller coasters. There was one thing that went up, but it just really didn't look that open.
But Buc-ee's is the mall of gas stations. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So Wendy, you're in Louisiana. We flew over Louisiana coming home. And actually a little bit of it going out, but we flew over Alexandria coming home. And the reason we know that, my app wouldn't work, but a girl in front of us bought the Wi-Fi, and Chauncey kept peering through the seats because because she had the Wi-Fi, she would have her Snapchat maps up so we could figure out where we were.
She was showing her husband, and then they'd be looking out the window, so that caught my attention. And I was like, "Hey, look, we're at such and such."
Yeah, she actually punches me and says, "We're flying over Houston right now," and I looked down. Sure enough, there we were. But yeah, we flew over Louisiana. I know Alexandria coming home. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I told you something that was wrong. Coming home, I said that we had stopped in Alexandria on our first trip to Texas. That was actually Shreveport, not Alexandria.
I thought I didn't remember the name, but I wasn't going to argue with you.
Yeah. I'm usually not wrong about stuff like that, but that we actually stopped at Shreveport.
You saw it online. He admitted he was
Yeah,
wrong, and
well,
nobody knew
that's
it
what
but
reminded,
us.
that's what reminded me. Well, I hadn't even told you.
No, you hadn't.
Yeah, so I about didn't want to, but yeah, it was a great trip. I wish we'd had a few more days, but
it always seems rushed, and I don't know if it's just because we are just slightly a bit older, but it's like at night we would just kind of crash. We were so tired, and we come back, and we come home on Monday evening. We're like, we're just gonna crash. We're gonna be so tired, and he's been working nonstop on videos.
yes.
I come home this evening. It was what 5:40ish. He says, I'm going to take a nap. I said, me too. I'm going to go set the timer. So I was like, we had to take a nap before because we just.
Wendy asked, did y'all wave to me when y'all flew over Louisiana? I looked down. I wasn't sure if that was you. No.
I was probably sleeping.
Yeah, well, actually, I didn't. I don't know what part of Louisiana you're from, but I will next time, though, I promise. But are you going to Mall of America? Yes, we are.
Definitely.
Yes, we haven't been there since, I guess, our last trip in 2002. Yeah, we're definitely going to go to Mall of America.
Yeah.
I was just going to say something. I will tell you a little bit about two of the videos I'm going to be uploading. They're going to take one of them's going to take a little while to do. But I'm going to, I don't know how much I'll say about that. One of them that we shot in Dallas is, I'm not going to say what, but it has to do with a very pivotal point in American history. Some of you remember it, some don't. And another one I'm going to do is bits and pieces of a popular television show from the 90s and early 2000s that was shot in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that I'm a fan of. So I actually found some of the filming spots. So that's going to take a while to put together, but I'm looking forward to do it. I enjoyed making that video and standing places that were knowing that show was shot at. That's silly that you got copyright for short Marty Robbins clip. Oh yeah, it is silly. I knew it was going to happen. I just, how do you fly into El Paso and not put that on there, you know? But yeah, I figured that would happen, but
Yeah.
I was willing to take it. I don't think we was monetized in anyway. So yeah, just to have that clip on there as we're descending into El Paso. Smoky Mountain Man, have a good night, Derek and Chauncey. God bless you both, my brother and sister. Yes, you as well. God bless you and your family as well. So, all right. Okay, guys. Don't know if we're gonna go quite to 9 tonight because it's pretty long. We're still catching up on sleep. We were on the go constantly.
We were
in Texas. We really were. And didn't sleep very good at night. I don't know why, because it wasn't the bed's fault or the room. Just, I don't know. I don't know if it was just wired up and excited or what the deal was. But, yeah, I've been coming home pretty much every evening after work and just taking a nap. And I don't usually do that every day. But, got gardening to do tomorrow. It's finally warming up. We've had cold temperatures last few nights.
Yeah.
I set our tomatoes out before we left, and then we had to cover them the other night because there was a frost possibility.
Yeah.
What exactly does a copyright hit do to your channel? Nothing. At least the ones we've gotten. What it usually involves is YouTube will detect music in the background, and it can be played. You don't even have to be music you added. It can be played in a restaurant. And if they hear it and it's copyrighted music, they will not allow you to monetize that video, or you can monetize it, but you have to share the ad revenue with whoever for that music, which again is ridiculous for put that on there. So there is music that YouTube offers that you can use for free. Like when you hear us go to a steakhouse and you hear Western music, that's music I did add because I can add that. Sometimes I have to add that to drown out background music that's going to get me a hit. So we don't really get penalized other than the fact that we can't make anything on the video. So we try to avoid that as much as possible. Wendy says Walker, Texas Ranger. Well, that's a good guess. I'm not going to say, but it'll be up. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and spill the beans. Yeah. Standing places right where Chuck Norris stood is just kind of cool. Geo Mad Cat. Hey y'all, the vlogs. Just dropping by to say hi. Back on the road. Hello. Thank you for checking in. So yeah, that's going to take me a while because we went to several locations in and around Dallas and Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had it all lined up where to go, and we walked till we found them.
Alamo visit, yes, that will be. There is a video coming on that. That's the one where I dropped my camera.
And let's just say the Alamo, we had to go in separately because they would not allow the dogs with the stroller. So I actually went in first and I did the recording. So I don't think you've watched it, have you?
I actually have not.
I haven't watched it either. So hopefully it'll be good because he usually does the recording, the narrating. We'll see.
Yeah, I love Walking Texas. I have the complete series. I do too. That was a birthday present about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And honestly, when we went out there in 2017, I think did I already have the series then?
You did have it by then, yeah.
But I did not know that CDs was in the Stockyards. I thought the whole thing was shot around Dallas, and I didn't realize that CDs was actually in the Stockyards. And then when we got back and started watching things, I said, "Hey, we were there. We saw that." I started seeing things that jumped out at me that we had seen. So
scroll back up on there.
Yeah, Wendy said, "I want to start exploring Western North Carolina since I'm watching y'all. I don't think you can find a prettier place to explore. Yeah. I don't know how much you've been in the North Carolina side of the Smokies, but towns like Waynesville,
Maggie Valley.
Yeah,
those are really nice.
They're a toned down version of Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. They have some shops, but they're just not
more quaint.
Yes,
you're going to go eat. You might do a couple little shops here, and then you're just going to relax and enjoy the scenery.
Yeah. Hello, everyone here in the North Georgia mountains. Glad to see y'all. Come and check the waterfalls. We actually did do Anna Ruby Falls last year, year before last.
Year before.
Yeah, 2021, end of 2021 we did.
Yeah.
Bryson City, yes. Bryson City we really like.
Definitely.
Hendersonville. Have not really done much of Hendersonville yet. Even Highlands is one of the higher altitude towns in North Carolina, so even in the summer it's very cool. I'm sure you did a good job, Shaughnessy. I couldn't imagine how shaky and bad a video I would film. I never was good taking video. It's hard. It really is. And the more you zoom, the harder it is to hold a camera still. Because when you zoom closer, it detects every movement a lot worse.
We've got a little handheld stick that I was using. Hopefully that helped. But he's gotten to where he remembers to control it more. Whereas, like I said, I don't do that as a pictures. I take a lot with the cell phone just to upload them on Facebook, you know. So that's okay. Somebody asked the question, is Buc-ee's like an old Stuckey's? I've never been to a Stuckey's. Or have I?
Have the one in Old Fort.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
remember what it was.
No, not really. Stuckey's are neat. You don't see too many of them. There is still one in Old Fort. I don't know where else. There probably is a few still around. Buc-ee's is much, much bigger. A lot of Stuckey's have Dairy Queens attached to them. Stuckey's was famous for the pecan log rolls. Buc-ee's does have pecan log rolls. I don't know how to say it, but Buc-ee's is more like Stuckey's is more like a souvenir shop with candies and usually a Dairy Queen. They're good little stores, but Buc-ee's is bigger, a lot bigger,
huge,
a lot more variety.
Yeah.
So yeah, did I miss anything up here?
I don't think there was anything else.
Okay. I'm from South Carolina, Kathy says, but I have to say that North Carolina is a beautiful state. It is.
Yeah.
And actually, y'all got some nice waterfall areas in South Carolina, too. There's a lot more we want to explore. We did Raven Cliff Falls back on her birthday a couple of years ago. And also, I don't even know if I mentioned this to you yet, but we'd like to do state high points, and I think Sassafras Mountain in South Carolina has a pretty neat, it's not all that high, it's like 3,500 some feet, but I think they got a pretty nice area right there. So that might be something for a quick Saturday video as well.
Yeah.
Good night, Brian and Brenda, and yeah, good night, everybody. Spruce Pine is my favorite north. Spruce Pine's nice. It really is.
Yeah.
I've seen some Stuckey's on videos from Georgia. You know, I remember as a little boy, we used to go to Florida every year. They were all up and down Interstate 75. And I don't know of any that are still left there now. There may still be some in Georgia.
We might have to keep our eyes open and see one stop.
But I like Stuckey's. It's just been so long since we haven't even stopped at that one in Old Fort in a long time. Buc-ee's is pricey. Glad you enjoyed the trip. Oh yeah, on some things they are.
It's just you get so much while you're there.
Yeah.
You feel like you have to stock up on snacks. Yeah.
What month is Minnesota trip? That's going to be, I don't actually know what day we're leaving. But it'll be over the week of the 4th.
Yeah, we're leaving like on June the 28th. I think it's a Thursday evening. We're going to work half a day. And then we'll come back the following
I don't know if we'll get a
Sunday.
room that night or just drive it. We talk about driving it straight through like we used to. It's been a long time, just alternating sleeping. But you get up there quicker if you drive it straight through, but then you feel terrible when you get there. So, but I'd like to get as much mileage behind us on Thursday as we can.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. It's been a long time since we've been up there. And don't really know. I've been trying to look for things to video while we're there. There are a few things. Place in St. Cloud, like a floral Munsinger Gardens.
Yeah.
I think that'd be worth doing. Then you have a cousin up in Duluth, so probably maybe go up into there and along Lake Superior a little bit.
Yeah. And then too where the Mississippi River starts.
Yeah. You would feel bad all day the next day. That's true. Usually what we would do when we would finally get there is check in, sleep a couple hours, and that would take the edge off. A little older now than I was then, though.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Road trips don't really bother me much. I love to travel. I like to drive.
We both love to travel.
Yeah.
It's just sitting for so long kind of makes you feel stiff, and then
I would
sleepy.
rather drive than fly. Flying gets you there quicker, but honestly, if we had had an extra day or two on this Texas trip, we would have driven it. That's just me, but we didn't, so we did what we had to do.
Yeah.
But I was born and raised in Asheville, moved to Michigan in the 60s when a lot of people did love the videos of the Smokies and surrounding areas. Love it. It's changed a lot since the 60s. It sure has.
Yeah.
Asheville has changed a lot. Asheville used to kind of just be a mountain town. Now it's kind of become, how do I say that gently?
Never age
Like a new age, yeah, where
hippies.
those that are out there, you know,
Full of hippies.
people trying to find themselves, let me put it that way. Totally different culture now in Asheville than what I remember it. You know, another town that's just a stone's throw from here that we really need to do a downtown of is Black Mountain.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things to do, but just it's a little time to do them. But I remember going to Smoky Mountain in the mid-70s. Not to say it's not. I've been going since I was, goodness, a few months old. And yeah.
Well, even when you took me in our honeymoon in '93 compared to now, totally different.
Yes, it is.
Totally. The atmosphere is even different, and it don't feel as family friendly as it used to, in my opinion.
Freddy's has opened in Severe. Yes, we actually saw somebody posted a video at J&B. Yeah. They just did a video there. So we didn't know what a Freddy's was until we went to Jonesboro, Tennessee a few months back, and our friends took us over to Johnson City, and there was one. They said it was similar to a Steak and Shake.
And we had already eaten, otherwise
we had eaten at Five Guys. Yeah, we'd love to have had it. But then we heard they were putting one, or they had opened one in Sevierville.
Yeah.
Gatlinburg is all moonshine now. That's a shame. Yep.
It is.
Moonshine, then the stuff, you know, like I said, I think I said this before, you used to pull into town, you'd smell the restaurants and the food. Now you smell either the alcohol or the smoke, you know. But
and they seem like they're putting more kind of like bar things in there.
Yeah, and more of the country music
That's
restaurants.
what I mean, yeah.
This different
yeah.
than what we remember and what we enjoy. We still go, we stay there, but we spend less time in town, just to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's like we'll walk it to say we've done it, you
Yeah.
know, just to see if anything's changed, you know.
Something's always changing.
Yeah.
But I remember years ago, I don't think you remember, they set the store, the Wishing Well, right there on the street.
It
It actually had a front porch and a well that you could throw money down in.
I've seen old pictures.
Yeah. I kind of wish it was still like that. But things change, and that's just how it is. Trying to be Nashville, yeah, I guess so. Guess so. But all right, guys, we'll probably try to go to about 7:30. I'm sorry, 8:30. The time on this laptop has not changed since we got back home. It didn't adjust itself to Central Times. I had to adjust it. Apparently, it hasn't readjusted itself to Eastern Time. So it's actually 8:18. So yeah, we'll go to about 8:30. So if anybody has any more questions or comments, now's the time. I liked Hillbilly Village. Yeah, was that the yellow gift shop that was in Pigeon Forge? If it is, we went to that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think so. Used to be down there. If you're going out of Gatlinburg, it was on the left, kind of going down towards the what used to be the end. Now there's no end. I remember when Pigeon Forge had an end. And then you got out of town. Now there's
for
just
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was like a distinction before you got to Walmart.
Yeah, even the Walmart wasn't there. Then my favorite place to eat is the Apple Barn. We love the Apple Barn.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole experience. When's the last time y'all were there? We did a video there back Christmas Eve, wasn't it? It was a day it was about 5 degrees. We were freezing to death that day. We were standing out by the fire doing the intro. But we actually did a video there back in December.
Power went out while we were there.
The power went out when we were there. It was starting to get dark. So yeah, check out that video. We did the Farmhouse Grill, which is the first restaurant when you go down into the complex instead of the one out at the very end.
Yeah. I think we actually have 2 videos of the Apple Barn. One
we do. One was
not long after we started, and then this past Christmas.
Yeah, it was cold then too. My uncle was always a jokester. He had my aunt open the outhouse door behind Hillbilly Village, and the recording came on. Shut that door. She jumped 3 foot high. Yeah. You went in the outhouse there at Mama's farmhouse, and I pretended like I was going to go in and look around, and she screamed. And then I was hollering through there like, please like and subscribe to our channel. That was actually her. Let's see. Do you remember the admission cost of Blowing Rock? That will be our next.
It was $9 a person, if I remember correctly. I think it was $18 for both of us. It was less than 20. I thought, that's not that bad.
No, it's not bad. I mean, you can see it all in a short time. There's not a lot to it, but you got some really good views up there.
And you can stay as long as you want to. I mean, they've got a little snack shop, and you can sit and.
It's worth $9. It's
worth
it.
Yes.
Have y'all been to the island? Yes, many times.
Yeah, I don't think we've done much recording out there.
Yes, we did. Well, not much.
Your video.
Yeah, that's my video exporting. Let me take care of that. Talk to him.
Yeah, whenever he's doing a video or something on the computer, I guess whenever it's done, whatever it's doing, it starts playing. So if you watch all of our videos, you'll be hearing that.
My video editing program, I have to export it to an MP4 file before YouTube can accept the upload. So that's what that was. It finished and started playing. Mm-hmm. The island of Pigeon Forge is where I got my very first copyright hit. I'll never forget it because I didn't know what a copyright hit was. I was out there recording the fountain at Christmas time, and they have it synchronized to the music and all that. And but you know what? I appealed it, and they dropped it. They dropped it immediately. Mm-hmm. So that was good. That was my very first copyright hit. That's always going to hold a special place in my heart. Blowing Rock is gorgeous.
It is.
Yeah. Lisa Harper thanks. My grandparents had an outhouse still when I was very young. Wow. Who is the best buffet in the Pigeon Forge Gatlinburg area? I don't know but one. And that's that wood grill?
Something like that.
It used to be Great American. We used to go, we don't do the buffet thing so much anymore.
Well, obviously, we don't need it looking at us. And then two, I
wasn't going to say it like that, but yeah.
And then two, it's just as you get older,
you can't handle it. It's just, it kind of, your stomach will hurt, or used to when I was 35 and 40, I could eat anything and then do it again in 2 hours. But
I think a lot of people still like it there.
Yeah.
Some people from our church had just gone up there and they went and they said it was really good.
I can't really think of another buffet.
Well, there's a Golden Corral.
Well, yeah. Who's going to go up there and eat it?
I'm trying to think too. Yeah, a buffet.
I guess people do or it wouldn't be there. But when are y'all going to go head to head on the go-kart track in Pigeon Forge? Seen the mini golf challenge and how that turned out between you two.
Oh, yeah, the checker.
Yeah, I started to say you need to check out that good checker game. You did.
No, that might be something to do.
How would we record that though? We'd have to have somebody with us to record it if we're on the go-kart track. Well, I don't know if they let you. I don't know if they'll let you do that or not. I don't know. We haven't ridden go-karts in years. That's something to look at. When does college football start? Usually around late August, early September, I believe. Buffet food sometimes sits too long. It can make you feel bad. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't do as many buffets anymore. Mama's Farmhouse is kind of buffet. Yeah, it's family style. They bring it to you.
Yeah, and it's all you can eat.
Yeah. Now there's places like that we do go to. There's actually one up in Boone, Daniel Boone Inn. We needed to go back and do a video there. The last time we went there was not that good, but I'd like to go for breakfast sometime.
So many people love it and say how good it is.
A lot of people do. I mean,
they love it. So we could have just been on an off day.
Yeah, it could have been an off day. But yeah, we do need to go up there for breakfast. Yeah, we'll go about 5 more minutes, 6 more minutes here. I do appreciate everybody being here tonight. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, if you would do that, we'd appreciate that. That'd help us out. But yeah, just honestly had a great time. If you're ever in the Dallas Fort Worth area, you got to do the Stockyards.
Definitely.
And I would say, even though our experience this time wasn't great at Reunion Tower, it was excellent the previous time.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to see that. You got to see the city from that vantage point.
Yeah.
And I recommend doing it day and night.
We went up, what was it, evening? Well, it was still daylight, excuse me.
Well,
and then waited.
You can buy a day pass and then add a night pass that allows you to come back for $5 more. I said, well, forget that. We'll just go when it's still daylight and hang out till dark.
Mm-hmm.
Go one time. So that's what we were going to do. But again, when those storms came through, they made everybody get off the deck, which again, lightning, you can't have people. I get that. It was the fact that long after the storms were long gone, they didn't let us back out there. That was the part that kind of didn't sit well with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Mama's Farmhouse is kind of, what are y'all doing this weekend? This weekend, we are not doing anything. We are going to be going out with a preacher friend of mine from over in Wilkes County. We're going to be going to JD's Barbecue. Don't know that I'll do another video. We just did one there, 2 months ago. That's local. Good night from Ginger and I. Tony, you and Ginger, have a blessed evening. Thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all are doing well. Thanks for sharing your trip with us. Loved all the videos and can't wait for the rest. Yes, just be patient with me on that, because some of these are going to take a lot of editing and some of them can go up quick. I enjoy your live stream. Nice people in the chat. Yes. We've had nothing but nice people in our chats. You watch some of the others and they get hecklers and trolls and everything else. And I keep thinking one of these days we're going to have to deal with, but everybody is.
We got a good group.
We do. We have a great group. Have you been to Gaucho or Bono? Yes, we did. Right after it opened, in fact. We want to try it once my wife has recovered from her heart surgery. I thought it was good. I thought it was a little. Brazilian steakhouses are not cheap anyway. I thought it was maybe priced a little more than maybe the one in Asheville. I haven't compared them lately, but it seemed like at the time it was. But it was good.
So it seemed like, I remember everything being very delicious.
Yeah.
But it was, when we went, it was not long after they had opened. So it's been several years. But it was good.
I want to say within a month after they opened.
Yeah, because we were pretty excited about it.
Yes. Glad y'all had a super trip. Thanks for sharing with us. Good night. Rita, you and Sean have a good night. Glad y'all had a good trip and a safe trip. Glad y'all were able to make that trip. I did see a crazy comment on your Texas video. Which one?
I don't understand people.
If I saw it, I probably responded with something a little bit smart. I don't know.
And sometimes he'll respond, then he'll remove it. I think.
Well, I want the person to have a chance to see it if they're just trying to be a troublemaker. What? Yeah, I'm curious which one you're talking about. I don't even remember a comment now, but it does seem like there was something. I cannot place what it was now. But
I remember if you even.
Yeah, we posted a couple of videos from Texas. So if you remember which one it was, guy said, yes, absolutely. That guy was.
What was it?
A guy comes on, I think it's Whataburger, and he says, "Why did this show up in my feed? I eat healthy."
Oh, I did see that.
So I think I came back to something. I said, "You're asking us why something showed up in your feed?" I told him I think we would try to be more considerate in the future about what shows up in his feed, like we have any amount of control over that. So it's like, why would you take that out on the people posting the video? Because I don't know who this guy is, let alone what shows up in his feed. Yeah, some people are just nuts, and that's saying it nicely. Yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah, that eyeshadow's still on point, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Nobody say anything about mine.
We're going more for the nude look on his face here.
The what?
The nude, natural look on your face. It's okay.
Okay. No, we're not.
All the women know what I'm saying. Okay,
well, you have to explain that one to me. That might be a good one to quit. I don't know what to say after that.
Are you yellow red?
Yes. Why would you say that?
I'll explain to you. It's makeup.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Shadowing.
Okay.
Shadows. And... Anyway.
All right, well, it's 8:29.
That's what we're going to be talking about when we shut the video off is makeup.
Yeah, you got that natural. Natural would have been a far better term to have used there, I think. Sorry, y'all, that wasn't scripted at all. I wasn't expecting that. All right, but I think we're gonna, let's see, I don't understand trolls. If you watch a video of someone that don't think it's for you, just don't watch. Yeah, how easy is that? There are people that, I don't know, they can't resist showing themselves, and I don't know why that is. I don't understand it either. I don't know what, they have no life if they're.
I don't understand why would you take the time to make a comment. To me, it's like, okay, I don't like that. I'm just going to flip on and go to something else. I am not going to take the time to make a comment.
What I like is when I'll mention a fact and somebody will correct me. I think I did one in the Amish store. I made a thing about the Carolina Reaper is the hottest pepper in the world. A guy comes on and corrects me, so I looked it up and I was correct. It's like, why didn't he look it up before he said anything?
Mm-hmm.
Is there an elevator at Blowing Rock to go up? I don't remember an elevator.
There's not. Yeah, you don't need an elevator because you basically, when you park in the parking lot, you walk through the building and then you walk out the back or the side door. And then
it's pretty much a paved walkway all the way around, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think.
The rock is just out there along the walkway. It's not something you have to climb to see.
No, I think, well, besides the trail which is pretty new that they had going down the side, they just basically dead end.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't take a stroller, but I think I pushed the dog stroller everywhere. Yeah. So the
only thing, you do have to walk down some steps. What is the name of that trail off to the right that you have to walk down those steps to get to? It's not really work. That's not even.
Is that what I was just talking about? The newer thing that you.
Yeah, I cannot remember the name of it now, but it's before you get to the main observation point on the right.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
You do have to go downstairs for that. Trolls are miserable. Yes, they sure are.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, VA Fund Seekers.
Hello.
Good to see y'all tonight. Derek doesn't have highlighter on his eyes.
No.
I'll never tell. Chimney Rock has an elevator. Yes, they do. I remember that.
Yeah.
Good night, Margaret. Thank you for being here.
Yes,
appreciate it. Just got home. Okay. All right. Well, we were getting ready to sign off here in a few minutes, but glad y'all are here. We'll stay on a few more minutes if anybody has any more questions. Appreciate y'all being here tonight. Hope y'all are doing well. Well, we tried, as you know, I think I sent you a picture of the Round Rock donuts that you all recommended to us.
Mm-hmm.
We did not get the big Texas sized one because we'd still be sick if we tried to eat that thing. That thing was big as a wagon wheel.
It was big.
But I really enjoyed what we got. I think I liked my chocolate covered one better than I did the strawberry, but they were both really good.
They were both really good. My cream filled one did not have as much cream as the donut fryer one.
Yeah,
because when you eat the donut fryer, it's like it's spewing out everywhere. This one here had a little bit, but I will say I like the icing better.
Yeah.
On the other one, it was more like a sweet cake icing. It was really good.
Now I want to ask y'all. I don't know if David or Cindy's talking or both of you. How did y'all find Round Rock Donuts to recommend it to us? Because it's kind of just like off the interstate right there, and Round Rock's just a little town with a water tower and a donut. How did y'all find it? I'm just curious. I do appreciate the recommendation.
Yeah.
I wish, honestly, y'all kept several recommendations. I wish we'd had more time to try them. I know you mentioned Rudy's. We might have tried to do that if we hadn't met up with her family a little bit off the interstate for lunch. And they picked the place. But I was curious how y'all found Round Rock Donuts. But it's really good.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Very.
You can't go in and sit down. You either have to go through the drive-thru or order the window.
And the drive-thru was like wrapped around the building,
it was.
on the road.
So a lot of people like it. Mm-hmm. Cindy is a researcher. It was on TV. Okay. All right.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't want to stop there.
And Derek's like that. He researches things out. You know, plans. He's our trip planner. It's like me. It's like, okay, if he's read about it or something like that, it's like, yeah.
I think Travel Channel. Okay, yeah. I think that's how we found out about the cattlemen in El Paso. You can find a lot of good stuff. But yeah, I wasn't aware of Round Rock, so I appreciated y'all giving us that suggestion.
Yeah. And YouTube is becoming so good for this too for us.
Yeah.
People doing vlogs and watching their videos.
Now, did you all go to San Antonio on that trip? I'm not sure if you told me or not. I know you said y'all did go to the Stockyards. I didn't know if, since you were down at Round Rock, if y'all were heading south that far down. But San Antonio is a place that, I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. Yes, we did. Had a great time there, yeah. The Riverwalk, like I said earlier, we had a little hard time navigating it because it's a lot. I thought it was just a place where you walked around the river. There were shops and restaurants. There is some of that, but there's some places there's nothing there besides just the river, and there's no restaurants or anything. And we seem to find ourselves in those places quite a bit. So
that's where I was saying where there's a circle where all the shops and restaurants. We found ourselves going out in the outer parts.
Yeah. We were gonna. They have a tower down there too called the Tower of the Americas. We were gonna do it. It's just when I go up to something like that, I want to see a skyline. To be honest, San Antonio just didn't really have much of a skyline.
Yeah.
Not like Dallas did.
Yeah.
But yeah, some beautiful places there.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good restaurant to eat at in Pigeon Forge? Wow, take your pick.
Well, the Apple Barn's good.
The Apple Barn's always
Very
good.
The Pottery House there.
Old Mill Pottery House.
It's very
It's
good.
right across from the Old Mill.
We enjoy that.
We got to give the Old Mill one more try.
We do.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed at a resort with a water park so Carly could have a little break. She was little then, yeah.
Mm.
It was hot when we were in San Antonio. It wasn't so hot in Dallas and Fort Worth, but it was hot when we got down there. It was like 86 degrees. How come we didn't get any pictures inside the Alamo? You should have on the Facebook page.
Let me double check.
I haven't done the video yet.
But I thought.
But yeah, I thought you did too.
Let me check myself.
You haven't followed us on Facebook, obviously. If you have, they should be there. I think I saw it. Make sure that post is still there. Old Mill Pottery House Cafe is so good. Yes, it is. We went to Mama's Farmhouse one time. Liked it. I'll tell you where else we liked Huck Finn's catfish, but I get the fried chicken. But
there's one of the pictures on the inside.
That's the inside of the Alamo.
Sorry, I'm getting a shadow or a light ring. But yeah, there's some of it. I will say there's not that much to it on the inside. Yeah,
I hadn't watched it. I don't have the video up yet of the Alamo. I haven't gotten to that yet. That was the one where I dropped my camera, and I haven't recovered from having to buy another camera. But
yeah, there's pictures on.
Yes,
so check on our Facebook.
So many places in Pigeon Forge to eat that is good. Yes, there are. There sure are.
Mm-hmm.
We always enjoy Bennett's in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. We like Bennett's.
We did a video on the Gatlinburg. Bennett's recently.
I got called out for taking pictures inside the Alamo. Really?
No, you can't use a flash.
Yeah, not a flash.
You can't use a flash, but you can take pictures. Yeah, they said it's something about how old the rock is, and they're trying to preserve it.
Flash is what's a flash going to do?
I don't know, but it said don't take flash pictures.
Yes, David. Dropped my camera. The one that I do most of our videos with. We were doing our closeout at the Alamo, and we had it sitting on some wooden bleachers. Right in the middle of our closeout, I'm sure you've experienced this. A lady comes up, her family's behind us, and starts just talking in a very loud, shrill voice that kind of drowned out us. So I went over there to stop the video and wait until she was gone. And when I did, my camera fell off onto the concrete. And I showed it once, but if you notice how the lens is, probably tops up there, the lens is bent and won't close up now. It's kind of bent that way, and it's no more. So
it's like at first we got a water droplet in, and that finally dried, and then that happened.
Yeah, the water droplet. You did that. You can actually see that happen. By the way, when my video of the TV show that we're documenting comes up, we're out at a hospital that was featured on the TV show, and you can see it's raining, and she holds the camera out the window. You can actually see the drop just come on the lens, and it got inside the lens.
Let me say this: it started pouring the rain. I don't have it outside the window. I'm like right inside the window, but it's pouring down. And a big bolt of lightning. I mean, you can see it.
Oh yeah, you'll hear it
flash against the building.
You'll hear the thunder
immediately. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's enough.
But yeah, that water stayed in there. Like it got inside the lens. We didn't know if that was going to ruin it, but the next day it was gone, which thankfully. But then I dropped the camera and it's ruined. So, we love Bennett barbecue there. Last October. Yeah, Bennett's is good. That sounds like my luck. Yeah, I honestly, I was sick at my stomach over that because I love that camera. It's the only 4K camera I've got. I had to buy a replacement for it. Same camera, the same model, but wow, I can see where it's bent. Yeah, and it won't close up at all. That's just the way it is. It's going to need a new lens. I took it to the camera repairman yesterday, and he found the lens in China for, I think he said $180. But he says, I might get the lens in and the camera still not be fully functional. I said, well, will they take the lens back? Oh, no. So it's like, okay, I'm stuck with the lens if it don't work. I mean, it may be fixable. So I just went ahead and bought another one. Wasn't planning to do that. Like both of your shirts. Yes.
Thank you.
I bought this one at the Stockyards. You got that at Buc-ee's. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I did get a warranty on the new one because I've always been a tight one. And I always, no matter if it's TV or what, I always decline the warranty because I figure I know how to take care of it. Well, I learned. Lesson learned.
I told him, I said, anything that I buy that's over like $150, like my Fitbit, I've had to have that replaced so many times. I always get the warranty. It pays for it.
I just always saw that as a way of getting more money off of you, but I always thought, I'll take care of it. But I dropped this one. It's my own fault, and I haven't had it 2 years, so it would have still been in the warranty, so I bought the 2-year replacement. See, David asks, did you end up going to Cattleman's? We did not. Wish we had. We ended up going to the reason we did, we had eaten steak the day before. We had to go back to our Saltgrass, the first one ever that we went to. And we were thought about Cattleman's, and there was a guy that does a rodeo around here recommended called
H3 Ranch.
H3
it's in
Ranch.
the Stockyards.
They're right beside each other,
Hotel.
next to the Cattleman, yeah. And we just kind of decided to go for barbecue. And if I'd known then what I know now, I would have done that. We got a warranty on Carly's iPad and it paid off twice. Well, like I say, I'm much wiser now than I was Monday, or when I bought this camera, because Monday's when it happened. And David, you wasn't here, but about an hour and a half after that, we're leaving Whataburger, and I backed into somebody's car in the rental vehicle. Didn't damage the rental, but it did damage their car. In the rear camera, I didn't see anybody when I started to back up. So I don't know if I was already back and she came up, or if I just looked at the vehicle in front of me to make sure I missed it and just didn't see. I don't know what happened. We have contacted Whataburger, and they do have the video surveillance. So they said they call back in a few days, let us know exactly what happened. But I think it was my fault. So within an hour and a half, I dropped my $700 camera and I back into a vehicle. So wasn't a good day.
But we got home safe. We're glad to be home.
Yes. Yeah. As much as you handle your camera, that was a good move. Yeah, that was a real good move. I used to be like you too and thought warranty was waste. Well, I have reformed. I'm wiser now. So yeah, we just bought a new TV here a couple months back, and I didn't get anything on it either. So I just never had anything. I've never needed it until now. We really want to try a Whataburger. Yeah.
There's supposed to be one right outside St. Augustine, Florida.
Yes, there are some in Florida and in Georgia.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people tell me, well, we have them here in North Carolina, but it's not the same thing. I looked it up. There are two in North Carolina, but they just use the name and they hyphenate between it. It's not connected to the Texas chain. The burgers are really big around. They're not too thick, but they're big around. Unless you're very hungry, and I thought I was. Don't get that triple that late at night.
Yeah, because you ate a salad before we left about noon or something like that, and then I gave you a Reese's or a little candy or something like that.
Kit Kat, or Reese's.
And so we were starving by the time we got there.
Yeah. So glad y'all did the live tonight. I enjoyed them so much. Wendy, we're glad you joined us.
Yes.
I promise you, next time we fly over Louisiana for any reason, I'm going to wave.
We will be waving.
But I want you to wave back. All right? Fair enough. DP, I'm late, but I'm here. There's the man of the hour. Thank you for joining us. This is the gentleman who suggested we do this live stream tonight. So I'm glad you're here. I called you out about 30 minutes ago, by the way.
We didn't mention your name.
No, I didn't mention your name. I just said the gentleman who wanted us to do this. I haven't seen him tonight, but you're here.
Yeah.
So glad you're here.
Yes.
And I think you were the one who told me that there are a few Whataburgers in western part of Tennessee, like from Nashville West. And that is correct. I confirmed that. I think there's several around Nashville, maybe one or two in Memphis, but none in East Tennessee. Yeah, it's just another fast food chain. It's a different one than what we got. I think Derek can recommend the triple burger. Yeah, if you want.
If you're hungry.
If you're really, really hungry. Have you guys eaten at Papa Dough before? Yeah, that's very interesting you would ask that, because there was one about a mile from where we stayed. And I told her, I said, I want to try one of those. Mm-hmm. I got to find out where there's some, maybe if there's any more where in an area we're going to be. But it looked like really good, like a Cajun seafood type place.
Yeah.
But we actually passed one. I said I want to try one sometime, but we have not yet. I had to do something for my kids as always, yeah. Smoky Mountain, Atlanta. Okay, that's good to know, because guess where we've been talking about taking a long weekend to and doing some things. There's a lot around Atlanta to do. Yeah, New Orleans is a little far for us, but Atlanta's doable. Sure is. Atlanta would be a great place for anybody who does YouTube videos to take a weekend and do.
Yeah.
And most of the rest are in Texas. But I have seen one. I don't know if maybe Florida. This is not the first time I've heard of them. But I did see the one in there in Arlington near where we stayed. It's awesome. It looked really good. Looks like
I'm trying to
Arizona. See if there's any in Florida, because I have seen those.
I'm trying to think of anything close to.
Could have been when we were out west. I don't know.
North Carolina.
Cajun seafood, yeah.
Colorado, Fort Worth.
Maybe not in Florida. What type of food is it, Smoky Mountain? Yeah, Cajun.
Illinois.
Illinois.
It's like Texas.
What part of Illinois? We do have to drive.
Westmont?
We do have to drive through that place on the way to Minnesota. I don't know where Westmont is. I have to look at that and see if that's on our route.
Seafood Kitchen.
Yeah. The one in Atlanta is north side near Jimmy Carter. Okay, I know exactly where Jimmy Carter Boulevard is because there's a varsity location right there. So that would be great. If there is one in Atlanta.
Wait, right here it says Georgia, Illinois.
Okay.
Well, let me keep looking.
When we do an Atlanta weekend, which we have actually been talking about, that's a definite.
If I can find
Go to World Cup. That would be one of the things we would do. We kind of talked about maybe taking in a Braves game, going to the aquarium.
Real close to the varsity.
Yeah, real close to the varsity. Yeah, we've eaten at that varsity and the one downtown. And also World Coke. Those are some, and Stone Mountain. Now, I did hear Stone Mountain was changing the laser show this year that they've done all these years. I hope it's an improvement. I don't know. I thought it was really good before.
It was good.
I just wonder how they're going to be changing it. Yeah. But Braves, Orioles this weekend. Yeah, that'd be a good one. The last time I saw the Braves and Orioles was about 3 years ago. The Braves were good. The Orioles were one of the worst teams in baseball, and they still beat the Braves that night. I don't bring the Braves a lot of good fortune when I go. Tennessee is getting some In-N-Out burger places to In-N-Out. Now we ate one of those in California. That's the only one we've ever eaten that was in California.
Now
it's a big thing out there.
It said there was one of those restaurants in Charlotte, so when I click on it, it's showing Captain D's.
I don't think Captain D's and Papa are on the same.
That's so funny. I wonder why I would do that.
I don't know. But if you find one in Charlotte, we'll make that a point within the next month.
Yeah, but no, let's see.
We need to maybe go see our son anyway. Maybe see if he wants to go. If there's one in Charlotte, I don't know. But
that's so weird.
That one in Atlanta, Jimmy Carter Boulevard, that's a definite. I'm glad. I knew I'd seen one somewhere. I've never heard of one in NC. I hadn't either. But she's looking it up now where they are. So I don't guess we have one. See where that one in Illinois is, since we have to go through Illinois.
What did I say, Westmont?
Westmont. I don't have no idea where that's at. Illinois is not my favorite state, especially up around the Chicago area. I haven't been in over 20 years. They used to toll you to death up there. It was just like every few miles you had to stop. I don't know if they redo the way they've done that. There's one in Raleigh. Okay, there's one in Raleigh, which is slightly closer than Atlanta. Not actually too much, but slightly. Okay, yeah. So we do have one in Raleigh, but not Charlotte. I wish there was one in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Wendy Papado. Well, just by the spelling of the name, it's a Cajun seafood. I would think you would have a lot of those in Louisiana. I would think, probably maybe around New Orleans or Baton Rouge area, there would probably be some. But it's Cajun seafood.
I'm getting hungry. I only had a bowl of Cheerios when I come home.
Yeah, we're going to get off here in a minute and let her eat. They are getting so many people moving here from California. In-N-Out are coming with them. You know, there's a lot I could say about people from California moving, but I'm going to not say anything. So, I'm from North Louisiana. So, oh yeah, that's right. You're from that town where I got my last speeding ticket, Monroe, right? Yeah, I remember that. Now I got pulled over in Monroe. His last name was Parker. I'll never forget it. Officer Parker pulled me over, but I did get out of it. So, anybody here a new date for Buc-ee's? I have not.
I haven't yet.
They changed it from June the 5th.
Yeah.
Culver's, that's another one we're going to try. Not sure if we're going to make it to the one in Belmont before we go to Minnesota, but if not, I know they're all over Wisconsin. That's
Hickory's
actually where
getting one. Hickory is getting one.
They said they were getting a Cheddar's too, and that fell through. So
they're getting one in Hickory.
Where's it going to be?
Across from where the Sheetz gas station's at.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Our oldest son has told us we got to try Culver's. Mm-hmm. So
I think they're supposed to have like deep fried cheese curds, which we like.
I love. Yeah. I love anything deep fried cheese curd. Cracker Barrel actually has some really good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do.
And actually, Cookout has some pretty good. Just for a fast food place, Cookout's is pretty good.
Yeah.
J. Arthur's fried cheese sticks, man. You talk about cheese now.
That's good.
Cheesy goodness.
We love cheese.
Next time you come through Clemens, you need to go to Joe's Takeout. Is that off the 184 exit, the one we would get off to eat at Mi Pueblo? Let's see, make sure you get ribs. Okay.
Okay.
Joe's Takeout. Now, have you been to Little Richard's Barbecue there? Heard good stuff about it too. No, so it's not off that exit. Papa Dosi was in New Orleans. I don't care for New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans. We talked about driving down there for a long weekend. I think that's about maybe 700 miles from us. That's doable.
Yeah.
Right across from Tanglewood. Okay. Joe's Take. I have to try to notice that next time we go to Tanglewood.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try one of those Papa Do's. I even said that to you when we were passing. I said that looks like a good place to try. The shopping center across from Tanglewood. We didn't know where the shopping center is, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if is it a Lowe's Food or a Harris Teeter or something like that?
Or Food Line.
I don't think it's Food Line.
I haven't really paid attention. You had to go in there and get some dog food one time.
Yeah.
It was jam packed getting into Tanglewood and the line was long. And I think they were hungry. If I just said just run in there and get them something.
The dog's not a
Harris Teeter. It says Harris Teeter.
Okay.
Joe's is on exit 182. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, that'd be the exit right before.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
Okay.
Okay. That's something to consider.
Yeah.
We don't get down that way a whole lot except for Tanglewood, but once in a while we do get down to Winston. So we actually want to try, there's a Brazilian steakhouse in Winston too called Cowboys. We want to try it too. But we're going to go ahead, guys, and sign off here in the next 5-10 minutes or so. We'll go just a few more minutes. If anybody has any more questions, we do appreciate everybody joining us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if anybody does have any more questions about the Texas trip or about anything, now's your time to ask. So you've been to Cowboys, okay? All right, well.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's good to know before we go there and spend that kind of money. We've not had a Brazilian steakhouse yet that we didn't like. Somebody left a comment on our Rios in North Myrtle Beach, trying to tell us it wasn't any good and to go to this one. There's always somebody that's going to tell you what you did wasn't right. But Rios has been great both times.
Yeah.
I would not. I'm not against trying another one, but goodness, I don't know why. The guy said it was very low quality. I thought it was like very, very
good,
delicious.
Yeah.
But okay, I haven't been to Cowboys, so that's good to know. It's average, I guess, but other Brazilian steakhouses I've had are better. Okay, thank you for letting us know that before we made a special trip down there, because we were talking about doing that, actually.
Yeah.
I just have a thing for Brazilian steakhouses. About like once a year, I like to do one. And it's been about that since we did we did Rios here a few months back. So, but, we did the one in Kissimmee, but we went for lunch and didn't get.
Yeah, that wasn't like the full experience.
Right.
That was just a couple, and
Internal Compass of North Carolina. Hey, y'all new to the channel. Well, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. Sorry, Tammy and I just got in. We enjoyed all the videos from Texas. Many more to come.
Yeah.
At least 5, 6, 7 more to come. I've got one now that y'all heard it go off. Well, those who were here earlier heard it go off in there. It finally finished exporting, so I'm going to start uploading it as soon as I sign off here. Should be ready in the morning. That's the rodeo. Fort Worth Stockyards Rodeo. Probably the highlight of our trip.
It was a lot of fun.
That rodeo was awesome. It was called the Rookie Roundup. And actually, I think if you've got the Cowboy channel, I think you can actually watch it. You might spot us in the crowd. I don't know. I don't know if we're on it. But if you have the Cowboy channel, they were on that, broadcasting that live. And I think they do archive it. So, but it was called the Rookie Roundup.
We were on the second day challenge. I think it was a 3-day thing. We were there for day 2.
Yeah.
Or evening 2.
And you don't let the word rookie through. I mean, these are still professionals. They're just in their first year. They're talented. I'm not kidding you. And I'm going to say one thing before we get off here about that rodeo video. It's a long video. It's about 48, 50 minutes, but do not shortchange yourself by cutting it off early because we're reconnecting. It just went off for a minute. At the end of that video, about the last 10 minutes, you want to watch the rope performance by that guy named Ketch Weaver, Ketch. That guy can do things with a rope you would never think possible. And he performed and did tricks with a rope. And I made that at the very end of the video. That's going to make you watch the whole thing. All right. But you want to see.
Yeah.
You want to see that. I cut out That rodeo lasted for well over 3 hours because we were there for almost 3 hours, and we finally left because they were starting to do all the events again with the finalists who had the best scores while we were previously recording it. They were going to go through all the events again. I don't know how long that thing went on.
I don't know, but it was very,
It was still going on when we were doing our closeout.
It was fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that rodeo was amazing. It was. Let me back up here. Joe's Takeout is awesome. The only down. Hold on. Where's my cursor at? Okay, there we go. Yeah, they have. Guys, I don't know what's happened. I think we went offline there for just a minute. Yes, David, the rodeo was amazing. That video will be up in the morning, and that was probably the experience of our trip right there. That's one I would do again. That's the best $93 I ever spent for those tickets. I'd do that once a month if I lived out there. It was.
We got there a little late just because of what was it, traffic and trying to find parking. But they actually have like where you can walk and look at, I guess, like plaques of people who've been there before. They have a concession area, so they got more than just the rodeo. We just got there late, and then we had to leave. So
we didn't have to, but we were leaving like at 5:30 the next morning for San Antonio.
Yeah, and we need to go check on the dog.
I thought it was going to last 2 hours and it'd be done, but after about 3 hours, it was still going strong. But all they were doing was repeating the same events with the finalists.
Yeah.
So we didn't know any of them. So we had seen everything.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on. Our phone keeps disconnecting. So I think we're going to have to wrap this up. Let me take the questions we've got here. I'll try to get to those, and we're going to sign off. How is the rodeo clown? I'm doing good. No, I don't think they had a clown, did they?
They had two.
They were clowns?
Yeah, the two guys when they did the bull riding. Don't you remember the
I
guys
didn't remember
out
them
there?
looking like clowns.
I don't think they had face paint on.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were good.
What was this? There something Krispy Kreme.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have you ever tried the mini Krispy Kreme? We have not. Not the mini ones.
Mm-hmm.
You froze. Yeah, checking on your camera status. As far as the one I dropped, I had to buy another one. We love going to the rodeo. Yeah, y'all had some local rodeos there that you posted from. If you're ever back in Fort Worth, take in one there at the Stockyards.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know the plane. Don't bother me at some of the other flyers.
I have a question before you go.
All right, real quick. You flew into Dallas and out of San Antonio. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but guys, everybody hold the rest of the questions because this is the third time our thing's cut off on us. So let me let the live replay so I can see. It will. It should be.
They should. We always let them replay.
It takes a little bit. Yeah, they should all be.
Can y'all see them? Do you guys see the replays or the?
You may have to go over and click where it says live. I don't know, but it should be on there because we always rewatch them. The rodeo we go to has such a fun rodeo clown. The reason I ask, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I didn't remember seeing like anybody dressed like a clown.
No, let me say this. There's also a local rodeo guy that we go and see some of his rodeos around here, and his clown is kind of like a funny guy. The ones there were not. They were there to help.
I guess that's it's a 12-month rodeo, Derek.
They have it year round.
Yes, I think so. And that may be like the only place that does.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's every night or every weekend. I'm not sure. Yes, I see the replays. I will. Okay. Yeah. But yeah. All right, guys. We've frozen up again, so we're back on. So we're gonna go ahead and say good night and thank everybody for joining us.
I'm gonna go join the rodeo.
So. All right. But y'all have a blessed night. Thank y'all for watching, and God bless. So see y'all next time.
Good night.
How you cut it off? It keeps going off anyway. So.